Yo legends! Welcome back to the channel. Grab your headphones and lock in, because today's story is on another level. Want the next chapter? Drop a comment below, and if the legend continues, I'm bringing it straight to you. Disclaimer: I do not claim ownership of this story. All rights belong to the original creators. Note: I'm constantly tweaking the settings to make it as immersive as possible. Naruto: The Bonds of Team 7. https://www.fantle.com/d/file/cover qb/0jhmb3pzzsx.jpg. Page 1. Naruto unified the ninja world invaded by Naruto's team. Author Dark Eye Circles. Summary: the second time traveler, the martial arts genius Chen Tianren, traveled through the Naruto world and became the Senju Tianren to unify the ninja world. Just as he was vigorously developing the ninja world to prevent the attack of the Otsutsuki aliens, he never expected that the original Uzumaki Naruto would bring his new Team 7 team Sakura, Sai, and Yamato through the Dragon Vein. Chapter 1. Is this Lulan? Where exactly is this place? Why are we in a place like this? Standing in front of the tall building full of modern style, Naruto widened his eyes in shock, looking stunned. Beside him are Sakura, Sai, and Yamato, the new captain of Team 7. The four of them stood there blankly, seeming somewhat out of place with the pedestrians in front of them. Everyone who passed by them looked at them with curiosity. It's like looking at some rare animal. Is this a space transfer ninjutsu? It actually teleported us all away at once, and the architectural style here is completely different from the 5 great nations. Captain Yamato, do you know what this place is? Sakura asked quietly as she took in everything in front of her. It doesn't feel like a product of this era at all. It's a bit too prosperous. If there is such a prosperous city in the ninja world, it should be very famous, but I have never seen it or heard of it. It's really strange. Yamato shook his head sternly. His right hand unconsciously rested on his chin, looking thoughtful. Sai's eyes flickered, and I don't know what he was thinking. Hi. How are you guys? Are you cosplaying? Look at this forehead protector. It should be from Konoha during the Ninja Village era, right? The workmanship is very delicate. Just as several people were discussing and thinking in low voices, a girl with short brown hair, a short skirt, and over-the-knee stockings on her slender legs came over with a smile, tilted her head, and greeted them very cutely. Cosplay? The Ninja Village era? What does this mean? Naruto looked at the girl in confusion. I'm sorry, we don't quite understand what you mean. We are indeed Konoha's ninjas, following the orders of the Hokage, and we are chasing after a wanted criminal nicknamed Centipede, whose real name is Unlushan and who looks very wretched, Sakura said while remaining polite. Huh? The fate of the Hokage? Chasing wanted criminals. You guys are quite fascinated by it. All right. Then I am now the guard of the Shenwu Empire. How can I help you? The brown-haired girl looked at the 4 people, was stunned at first, then said with a smile. The Shenwu Empire. You call this place the Shenwu Empire? It looks much more prosperous than our Konoha. It's really amazing. Naruto grinned happily and gave the girl a thumbs up. Of course. The Shenwu Empire was established by the perfect and omnipotent Majesty Shenwu, who cleared out the ninja villages and unified the world. However, when it comes to prosperity, this place is far from being prosperous. Lulan is just an ancient town and can be considered a tourist attraction. It's not a big city, the brown-haired girl said again. The information that came out of his mouth made Naruto and the others even more confused. Clear out the ninja villages and unify the world to build an empire. Is this Lulan? Isn't Lulan an ancient country? How come in this girl's mouth it has become an ancient town? A tourist attraction? I'm sorry, we don't quite understand what you mean. Clear out the ninja villages and unify the world to build an empire. Could you elaborate on what that means? Captain Yamato took a breath and forced himself to calm down. You want to test my knowledge of history? Then you have found the right person. I am an elite student of Oasis Academy. For me, all this historical knowledge is nothing. Listen up, guys. The Shenwu Empire was founded 22 years ago by His Majesty Shenwu, the legendary thousand-handed celestial being. 22 years ago, it was an era of ignorance, poverty, backwardness, war, and killing. This era was named the Ninja Village era. The ninjas in the Ninja Village master ninjutsu and have powers far beyond ordinary people. But they only know how to kill and destroy. The whole world suffered from the trauma of war for many years, and the people at that time suffered terribly. Their families were broken up, and they were displaced. His Majesty the Great Shenwu could not accept this cruel, ignorant, and backward era, and could not bear to see ordinary villagers endure hunger and young children go to the battlefield and be ruthlessly killed. So he used his supreme power, based on the original Fire Continent Konoha, to launch the unification war against the 4 major ninja villages, and defeated all the rebels with overwhelming force, and finally achieved great unification. The more Naruto and the other 3 listen, their mouths open wider and wider. What is this girl talking about? What 22 years ago? What about Senju Yamato sweeping away all the ninja villages and unifying them? Are you sure you are not crazy? The 5 major countries and the 5 major ninja villages are obviously doing well now. They had just recently captured the wanted criminal Centipede on the orders of the Hokage, so how come this girl said that the ninja village had been destroyed long ago? The brown-haired girl didn't care about the expressions of the 4 people. She just kept talking to herself, and became more and more excited until finally, she suddenly pointed into the distance. There stands a statue at least 30 or 40 meters high. The statue depicts a man with messy hair and a naked upper body. His exposed body looks very strong, and even the carved eyeballs reveal a fierce posture. His eyes looked into the distance as if everything in the world was beneath him. Ah, Your Majesty, the great god, please bless me so that after I graduate from Oasis Academy, I can successfully go to the Imperial capital and join the Imperial Guard. Then you can serve the Empire better. The girl stopped talking, closed her eyes, clasped her hands together, and prayed devoutly to the statue. A look of great reverence and fascination. Looking around carefully, some people were actually praying to the statue from a distance. Naruto and the other 3 looked at each other, and then at Yamato's signal, they quickly left. After arriving at a deserted alley, Naruto covered his head and said in pain, "Captain Yamato, Sakura, what on earth did that girl mean by what she just said? Why can't I understand a word she said?" "I don't understand either. I always feel like there's something weird here," Sakura said. "Let's split up and gather intelligence first. We'll gather here again in an hour." Yamato thought about it and finally said. The 4 of them quickly separated and reunited an hour later, after communicating with each other. Compared to an hour ago, their expressions seemed more solemn. Now it can be confirmed that everyone here believes that the Senju Tianren has wiped out the ninja villages and unified the world. Yamato rode. Why is this happening? Are all the people here under a jinjutsu? How could they believe such an outrageous thing? Konoha and the other 5 great ninja villages have always existed. Naruto asked in confusion. I don't know if it's an illusion or not, but this place is definitely very weird. What's even more bizarre is that the people here actually say this is the ancient town of Lulan. This is impossible. The ancient city of Lulan has long since turned into a ruin. It is full of deserts and ruins of long-destroyed walls. It is completely different from here. Even if we leave the city aside, this is still a place with dense greenery, more lush than Konoha. It has nothing to do with the desert. How could it be Lulan? Sakura said calmly. So, could it be that we are trapped in an illusion? Sai said shockingly. Ah, this is really possible. Illusion solution. Naruto's eyes lit up and he put his hands together to make a seal, but there was no change around him. Solve. 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 Why can't I solve it? Naruto yelled anxiously. Then, it. Because we weren't under a genjutsu at all. What greeted Naruto was Sakura's iron fist. It hurts. This is definitely not an illusion. Sakura's fists in an illusion will never be this powerful, Naruto shouted as he covered his head with the slowly rising bag. Then, it. So, it's not us who are under the illusion, but everyone here is under the illusion. We have to rescue them. Naruto covered his head and suddenly said firmly, although these people are very strange, they don't look like they have been bewitched. I think we can go to the dragon vein and check the situation. If there is indeed a dragon vein here, then it can be confirmed that this might really be Lulan. Then the information I got before Yamato couldn't help but pause at the end of his speech, but everyone understood the meaning of his words. Chapter 2. Remember, don't hurt these guards. According to the intelligence, the dragon vein should be ahead, but why is it like this? Sakura murmured, looking at the huge steel fortress in front of her with a numb expression. Outside the steel fortress, there are guards wearing green windbreakers and groups of steel puppets patrolling constantly. It looked as if no unauthorized persons were allowed to enter. It's so heavily guarded that it's probably impossible for ordinary people to get in. But we have to test our hypothesis. Page 2. Yamato looked solemn. But it's clear that these people won't let us in. What should we do? Should we force our way in? Naruto held his head with his hands as if he had a headache. No need to force your way in. My fake Super Beast paintings can lead them out, and then we can go in, Sai said calmly, his expression full of confidence. Is it really okay to do this? Isn't it too much? Sakura looked worried. In order to get to the bottom of the matter, this is a last resort. I'll trouble you from now on, Sai. Remember, don't hurt those guards. Our goal is just to find out the truth, Yamato said seriously. I know, Sai nodded. The four of them came to a secret place. Take action immediately. A huge scroll was thrown out and Sai started to paint on it quickly. Soon, huge crows, mice, cats, wolfhounds, tigers, leopards, and other animals made of ink appeared. They first turned into other allies and then suddenly rushed out towards the steel fortress. Naruto and his companions quietly observed in a secret place, waiting for the opportunity. Outside the iron fortress, a group of guards looked at the attacking black beasts without showing any panic on their faces. Instead, they sneered, "Is this a fake Super Beast painting? Is it the remnants of the rebellious ninja village? Do they really think that doing this will cause damage to the Empire? They are simply courting death. Remember not to use ninjutsu to cause unnecessary damage, and finish the fight quickly," a guard nearby reminded. Do you need to use ninjutsu to deal with this thing? Infuriating. Finger gun. The guard who had just spoken raised his right hand, bent his thumb towards the black beasts that were rushing towards him, and flicked it hard. Pen! Exclamation, exclamation. The air rubbed violently, making a loud noise. A ball of pale white gas suddenly shot out from the guard's thumb and landed heavily on an ink beast at an extremely fast speed. Boom! The entire ink beast exploded like this, then boom! Boom! A series of air shells were fired, and the approaching ink beasts exploded one after another. Countless black ink splashes. These black beasts can't even get close to us, let alone cause interference. Naruto and the other three who were hiding in the dark were stunned by the scene in front of them. What kind of ninjutsu is this? It's so powerful, Naruto said in astonishment. I don't feel the flow of chakra. This may not be a ninjutsu, Sai murmured in a low voice, with a hint of unrest in his voice. How could my most proud secret technique be cracked so easily? These guards are unexpectedly strong. It's not a ninjutsu? What is it? Naruto asked stupidly. I don't know, Sai said. Found it. The pathetic little mice that were hiding, while Naruto and Sai were talking. Next to the guard who had just taken action, a long-haired man suddenly roared, then kicked his legs on the spot, and rushed towards the alley where the 4 people were like a flash of lightning. Oops, we've been discovered. These guys have very sharp perceptions. Run quickly, I'll use my clones to hold them back. Yamato growled. A wooden clone quickly detached from the body and jumped out of the alley. Make hand seals in the face of the attacking guards. Wood release, silent killing binding technique. A thick wooden stick extended from the ground and flew towards the sudden guard. The guard was surprised when he saw this. Is this wood release? This is a ninjutsu that only the Senju clan can use. Could there be a Senju among these remnants? Damn it! It would be fine if others rebelled, but why did a Senju also become a remnant? You could have been close to His Majesty the God of War and felt the supreme glory. You bastard, you don't know how to cherish it. Damn it! I will not forgive you, you bastard. True Kai. Seal fist. The guard roared angrily and raised his right fist to swing hard at the wooden bar. At the moment of impact, a loud bang was heard. The entire piece of wood exploded as if it had been hit by a cannonball. What? Is this Tsunade-sama's super strength? The wooden clone was shocked. Insane. Storm kick. The guard who had just destroyed the wooden strip roared angrily and swung his right leg violently, hitting the air. The next moment, a visible air blade flew out and cut the wood release clone in half. It flew dozens of meters away with its remaining power before disappearing. Even the ground was cut by this air blade, leaving long gaps. So strong. Naruto, who was about to run away, just looked back and saw the guards dealing with Yamatoki's clone. He felt bad when he saw the air blade he kicked out. Why are the guards of this Shenwu Empire that fooled everyone so strong? With this kind of strength, even in Konoha, he would definitely be considered a strong man. Rebels. Don't even think about running away. Stay here. Several other guards were approaching by then. One of them even came to Sakura's side and punched her hard. Who's afraid of who? Bastard. Super strength fist. In response, Sakura did not back down at all and also punched out. The 2 fists collided together. The ground shook, and the guard's body was shaken and he took several steps back, but Sakura screamed in pain, covered her arm, and flew backwards and hit the wall behind her. Boom! Exclamation! The air was filled with smoke and dust, and a house was blown to pieces. Sakura's life or death is unknown. Sakura! Naruto exclaimed, feeling extremely anxious. Rebel! Die! Another guard had approached Naruto and started firing his finger guns from a distance. Naruto dodged quickly and used the multiple shadow clone technique. Instantly, a group of Naruto appeared, rushing towards the guards in front of them and those who knocked Sakura away. And facing Naruto, who was like a tide. The 2 guards just sneered, infuriating. Paper stew. A ball of bright white light appeared above the guard's body. A group of Naruto punched and kicked, but the 2 guards' bodies danced with the wind, dodging the heavy attacks at incredible and inhuman angles. While dodging, the 2 guards were even able to counterattack calmly, and with one punch, they could blow up a dozen Narutos. These shadow clones could not block the 2 guards at all. In the blink of an eye, a guard rushed over and punched Naruto's body. True Kai. Freeze. Boom. Exclamation! Naruto blocked with his hands in front of him and was smashed into a house. He struggled to get up. Besides the severe pain in his arms, he found that his limbs were out of control and he couldn't move at all. So he could only lie on the ground and watch the guards slowly approach. So strong. Why are these guards so strong? One by one or 2 of them they feel much stronger than Kakashi-sensei, Naruto whispered, his eyes full of disbelief. He had clearly been practicing with the lecherous immortal for 3 years. During these 3 years, the lecherous sage had affirmed his abilities, saying that he was capable of becoming an elite in Konoha. But the result was he defeated so easily. Chapter 3 We have something to say. The guard grabbed Naruto's collar and dragged him out like a dead dog. Naruto turned his eyes at this time, and was surprised to see that his three teammates, Yamato, Sakura, and Sai, were the same as him at this moment. Defeated. All defeated in an instant. These guards are indeed incredibly strong. What kind of terrifying country is the Shenwu Empire? Captain Yamato, Sakura, Sai. Are you all right? Naruto shouted worriedly. Well, look at us, how can we be okay? My arm hurt, Sakura complained weakly. I couldn't move my whole body. These people are very strong and use abilities that have never been seen before. Sai also said, although he still looked indifferent, Naruto could feel the shock in his heart. They are indeed a little too strong. Every one of them in Konoha feels like they can become one of the best among the elite jonin. Yamato also said, "Pen, pen, pen, pen." Accompanied by 4 muffled thuds, Naruto and the other 3 were thrown together like dead dogs. A group of people gradually gathered around. Page 3. They kept their distance and pointed at the 4 people. The guards who had just taken action and the guards who arrived later surrounded them. One of the guards said, "Tell me, are you prepared to confess the truth? Or are you prepared to put up a fight? I really don't understand you guys. You are so weak, yet you dare to attack the Dragon Vein area. If you want to die, why don't you just stab yourself with a kunai? Why do you have to go through so much trouble? These guys should be abandoned, poor bastards. Isn't that man from the Senju clan? Maybe they want to use him to disgust us. I have the same surname and abilities as His Majesty Shenwu, but I became a remnant of the ninja village. Damn it! They are giving up the honor of being able to meet His Majesty Shenwu. These guys are simply hopeless." A group of people looked at Naruto and the other 3, talking at the same time. What was said made Naruto and the other 3 feel overwhelmed. These guys actually said we were weak. Isn't that too much? We are the elite ninjas of Konoha, not weak at all. It's just that you are too strong. The 4 of them complained inwardly. Yamato's eyes flickered as he said, "Everyone, I think there may be some misunderstandings here. We are not the remnants of the ninja village that you are talking about. You are not the remnant of the ninja village. You are wearing a forehead protector. And you attacked the Dragon Vein Fortress. Are you trying to say you are cosplaying?" One of the guards sneered. "We are not really cosplayers. But our identity is definitely different from what you know. Our action this time is just to take a look at the Dragon Vein." Yamato wanted to say something else. Naruto beside him yelled, "Hey, hey, hey, hey. Are you Kakuro? Why are you here?" Exclamation. Yamato, Sai, and Sakura immediately followed Naruto's gaze. Only inside the steel fortress. A man who looked very similar to Kankuro, with 8 mechanical spider legs on his lower body and 4 mechanical arms on his upper body, walked slowly towards them, relying on the mechanical spider legs. "Kankuro? Is this guy really Kankuro?" Sakura was a little surprised and confused. The guards who were originally surrounding them said respectfully after seeing Kankuro, "Master Kankuro, why are you here? The remnants this time are just a few weak guys. It's not worth your effort at all." "Kankuro? Really Kankuro?" Sakura was a little surprised. "The Kankuro in front of me is so different from what I remembered." The oil marks on his face were gone, his eyes were sharp, and his body seemed to be much stronger. "Although it has been 3 years since the last time we met, isn't the change too big? And he actually looks a bit handsome. What's going on?" "Hi, Kankuro. It's me, Uzumaki Naruto. You shouldn't have forgotten me, right? Is Gaara okay? I heard he became the Kasage." Naruto also shouted in surprise. If his body had not been unable to move, he would have jumped up. You know me? And Gaara?" Uzumaki Naruto Kankuro, who was approaching, was a little surprised and looked carefully at the screaming Naruto. Hey, hey, hey. You didn't forget about me, did you?" It was the Chunin exam 3 years ago. Naruto reminded. Shut up. Damn Ninja Village remnant. How could Lord Kankuro possibly know someone like you? Don't even try to get close to him. One of the guards reprimanded Naruto with some disgust when he saw that he was still trying to make friends. But I really know him, Naruto said with a dissatisfied look on his face. Uzumaki Naruto, this look, this hair color, how come you look so much like the twins in the imperial capital? After a long while, Kankuro, who was staring at Naruto, was suddenly startled. Imperial capital twins, what is that? I'm Uzumaki Naruto from Konoha. I am here under the order of the Hokage to capture that bastard centipede. Do you know where that bastard centipede is? It's all because of that bastard that we don't know why we are here. Where is this place? Why is it so weird? Naruto was a little confused but called out anyway. Baizu? Why does this name sound so familiar? Kankuro muttered. Sir, a few days ago this fellow called Baizu also came here to cause trouble, and was finally caught and put in jail. A guard warned. So that's it. Although I don't know why you look so similar to the twin stars in the imperial capital, if you dare to rebel, I will never let you go. Lock them up too, Kankuro said, turning around and leaving. He didn't seem to care at all about Naruto and the other three in front of him. Perhaps in his eyes these 4 people are just petty thieves. When Sakura, Sai, and Yamato heard this, they were all shocked. Lock up? If they were locked up, wouldn't they be doomed? The guards in front of them were so strong that they had no chance of escaping. Unless Naruto uses that power, but is that possible? That would make me go berserk and launch indiscriminate attacks. By then the whole city will be destroyed. Naruto definitely can't do that. Yamato thought of this and said quickly, Kankuro sir, although it may be unbelievable, can you listen to our story? Oh. This time the rebel is surprisingly easy to talk to. Then tell me about it. The mechanical spider legs under Kankuro twisted flexibly, allowing him to turn around and look at Naruto and the other 3 again. Yamato was also honest and confessed everything. After hearing this, Kankuro and the guard next to him both showed a slight change in expression. Are these guys kidding us? I think this is just a rebellious fantasy. You don't need to make up such an excuse if you want to beg for mercy. Do you think we will let you go just like that? How ridiculous. Konoha disappeared 22 years ago. Although Lady Tsunade is currently serving in the imperial capital, she has definitely never served as the so-called Hokage. The guards refuted the 4 people's statements one after another. We are not lying. This is all because of the dragon vein, all because of that bastard Baizu. That's why we are here, and that's why we want to see the dragon vein. We are wondering if we can go back, Naruto yelled. Chapter 4. The Divine Emperor Kankuro was silent for a long time before frowning and saying, If what you say is true, then you may be from another dimension. I heard from Scorpion before that people in the imperial capital started researching this aspect a long time ago. There just hasn't been much progress in other dimension? What is that? Legend has it that every world has countless planes, and there are countless cells there, but each self may be different. I didn't expect this to be true, although I don't quite understand it yet. Do you believe what we are saying, Kankuro? I knew that although you were a little weird, you must be a good person, Naruto exclaimed in surprise. Don't act like you know me so well, man. Regardless of whether what you say is true or not, the one you know is not me, Kankuro said very coldly. But I believe that no matter which world you are in, you are a good person. Naruto had a goofy grin on his face. Kankuro covered his face, but couldn't help but smile. It's a little bit stupid, but not very annoying. I will believe your words for now, Kankuro finished. He raised his right arm and operated something on a watch on it. Not a moment. A beam of light shines from the watch. A young man with red hair, red clothes, and smoky eyes appeared. Behind him, there were buildings, a huge green plain, and a group of people playing freely. "Brother, what do you want from me?" The man looked at Genkuro and said calmly, "Gaara. This must be Gaara, right? What is this? Is it something like a TV?" Naruto cried out in surprise. The man was stunned for a moment, then he turned his gaze to Naruto, showing a trace of surprise. "This is Naruto?" No, Naruto is completely different from him, not so skinny, his clothes aren't so bad, and he doesn't have that weird beard on his face. But this guy looks too much like Naruto, doesn't he? Is he Naruto's brother? Uncle Minato is having someone else outside with Aunt Kushina behind her back. Page 4. Hey, Gaara, who are you talking about as having bad taste in clothes? These are my best clothes. And who are the Uncle Minato and Aunt Kushina you mentioned? What is their relationship with me in this world? Naruto first complained in annoyance, then asked as if he had discovered a key point. Yamato, who was standing next to him, felt a pang in his heart when he saw this. Are these two still alive and well in this world? If Naruto knew his own life experience, what would he think of Konoha? Yamato couldn't help but feel a little worried. To be honest, he never really understood why the higher-ups had been so harsh on Naruto since he was a child, but he didn't have time to think about it. Kankuro interrupted Naruto. "Gaara, don't worry about this guy. I have an important matter to report to His Majesty Shenwu. But I don't have the authority to connect directly with His Majesty Shenwu." "I understand. I will transfer you to His Majesty Shenwu right away." Gaara immediately shifted his gaze away from Naruto and started operating the watch on his wrist. After a while, the picture in front of me became distorted. After recovering, everything has changed. What caught my eye was a man with an extremely muscular body, his upper body naked, and skin as white as rock. The man had wild long hair and his whole body was full of wildness. Huge iron chains bound the man's limbs. Behind him was a plain and huge iron blocks as big as mountains. There were roughly more than a dozen of these iron blocks. Each piece will cause the ground to collapse and crack. The man dragged these pieces of iron and walked slowly forward. The ground also continued to collapse and crack. The whole scene looked extremely shocking. It gives people the illusion that the man is not a human being, but a god. "It's Kankuro. It's been 2 years since you graduated from Taito University. How has your mobile suit team been doing in Oasis these past 2 years? The man slowly stopped, looked at Genkuro with a sharp gaze, and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. "Thanks to your majesty. I am fine now. You also seem to be getting stronger. You are truly a blessing to the Empire," Genkuro said with a somewhat excited look. At the same time, several other guards and a group of onlookers also exclaimed, "Your Majesty the Divine Marshal. It's Your Majesty the Divine Marshal. Ah, Your Majesty is so handsome. His muscles look so sexy. Is this the power of His Majesty Shenwu? It is powerful enough to destroy everything, and also powerful enough to create everything. Too strong. Your Majesty Shenwu, I want to give birth to a child for you. Your Majesty Shenwu, we love you." Passers-by and guards seemed a little crazy. Seeing this scene, Naruto, Sakura, Yamato, and Sai's faces twitched. As a top student, Sakura instantly calculated how heavy the object was that His Majesty the God was dragging in front of her. That's at least tens or even hundreds of billions of tons in weight. Is this still a human being? Although Yamato, Sai, and Naruto are not as smart as Sakura, they also know how exaggerated it is to be able to do this. Even a tailed beast like the nine-tailed fox might not be able to deal with the person in front of him, right? Yamato thought uncertainly. From the few things he knew, the nine-tailed fox was already the most powerful being. After all, that was something that even a shadow-level expert couldn't handle. It is a monster that can massacre villages and destroy countries. So, why did you come to me this time? Tell me, Kankuro. Shenwu smiled and nodded to those around him, speaking gently. Your Majesty, please look this way. Kankuro turned his watch slightly, stepped aside, and aimed at Naruto and the other three. Seeing this, Shenwu couldn't help but show a trace of doubt and said, "Who are these 4 people?" Your Majesty, these 4 people claim to be Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura, Yamato, and Sai from another world. It is a world that is very similar to ours, yet very different. On their side, the era of ignorance, stupidity, and backwardness of the ninja village has not ended and is still maintained. They were also ordered by the Hokage Senju Tianren to capture a man named Beizu, and finally came to our world because of the power of the dragon vein. Kankuro said respectfully, "What do you mean by ignorant, stupid, and backward ninja village era? The village is not as bad as you say." Naruto yelled in dissatisfaction. The 3 people around him had their eyelids and hearts beating wildly. "Naruto, how come you are not afraid of anything and dare to say anything? The man in front of me is no ordinary person. He is the emperor of a powerful empire. Are you really not afraid of death at all? How dare you yell like that in front of such a person?" Around, the guards and villagers, seeing Naruto being so rude, became furious and said, "Shut up, remnants of the ninja village. How dare you be so presumptuous in front of the great Majesty Shenwu? Who do you think you are? Damn bastard. I won't let you go. Lock him up and let him experience the most severe torture in the empire. Uzumaki Naruto, you are too presumptuous. Don't think that just because you know me from that world, you can be so rude in front of the great Majesty Jinwu. Apologize to His Majesty right now, or I will make you regret living in this world." Keikuro, who had always looked calm, also became fierce. Sakura, Sai, and Yamato were scared to death. Chapter 5, bringing them to the imperial capital Naruto. "Apologize now," Sakura urged anxiously. I know I was wrong, but that's all because you slandered the village. We, Konoha, are not backward or ignorant at all. Everyone loves the village and contributes their own strength to the village. Naruto apologized quietly, while still defending himself somewhat unconvinced. "Humph. I didn't slander the shinobi village era, it was a garbage era. Let me ask you, in your time, could ordinary people have high-quality clothes to wear and eat fresh fruits, vegetables, and meat every day like we do? Can everyone live in such a beautiful house? Can everyone be happy?" Kankuro asked in a deep voice. "This seems impossible, but everyone is working hard. I believe it will be possible in the future." Naruto wanted to say something else. Kanjiro said again, "Everyone is working hard? Saying you are stupid is just overestimating you. What are you working hard for?" "A group of ninjas who only know how to fight and kill. I don't know how to farm. This guy named Yamato has mastered wood release but doesn't know how to use it. He is extremely stupid. Did you know that earth escape can build roads? Did you know that lightning escape and wind escape can generate electricity? Did you know that the powerful yin escape can create things out of thin air? Did you know that yang escape can heal all injuries? The work efficiency of ninjas is obviously more than 100 times that of ordinary people. But ordinary people are still required to work and farm. How ridiculous." Naruto was stunned by these words. "Yes, why haven't I thought about these questions before? Why do ninjas just complete their tasks and not engage in production? He clearly possesses such outstanding power. I have to admit that what Mr. Kankuro said makes sense. When we go back, we will definitely help ordinary people as much as possible and make the village a better place." Yamato interrupted at this time. "Humph, a bunch of rotten things. If they don't make fundamental changes, the ninja village era will never rise." Kankuro sneered. And at this moment, the existence called Shenwu in the Phantom did not listen much to the conversation between Kankuro, Naruto, and others. Instead, he fell into deep thought. "I didn't expect that after traveling through the Naruto world for 47 years, I would change the entire world beyond recognition. I actually got the chance to see the young and ignorant Uzumaki Naruto from the original novel. This was really a joke God played on him. Senju Yamato remembered the Naruto movie The Lost Tower that he had watched in his previous life. In that movie, it was just Naruto and Yamato who traveled through time, and the timeline was about 20 years ago, when Minato was still a young man and had not yet married. How could it be possible that, as was happening before his eyes, he could travel to his own world with Haruno Sakura and Sai, a temporary member? But this might be an opportunity. Thousand-handed heavenly being thought about his current situation. Although relying on the sage body of the Senju clan and the martial arts talent and knowledge inherited during his first time travel, he now has extremely powerful strength and was able to defeat the Six Paths Sage and unify the ninja world 22 years ago. But he has always regarded the Otsutsuki clan as his opponent. Although he has not watched an anime like Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, he has seen it a little bit because he has watched Naruto and has come across it while watching short videos. This lets him know the Otsutsuki clan is a cosmic race, and even Kaguya, the mother of six paths, seems to be just a servant, although he still hasn't lifted the seal on Kaguya. But I also know how powerful they are. The strength of every member of that cosmic race is not much inferior to that of the old man Liu Dao, and some are even slightly stronger. One of them was a guy named Otsutsuki Ishiki, and he seemed to have beaten the middle-aged Naruto and Sasuke, who were the duo that defeated Kaguya. Also, I heard that there is a god of Otsutsuki in that race, who can destroy a planet in the blink of an eye. Even he cannot do this kind of power now. So, page 5. Senju Tianren has been working hard to strengthen himself while strengthening the power of the entire ninja world in the hope of fighting against the Otsutsuki clan together in the future to this end. In recent years, he even had plans to invade other Hokage dimensions and continue to strengthen himself. But it's too hard. The risks of time travel are far greater than you imagine. Moreover, it is extremely difficult to lock the spacetime anchor point. This has put the original plan on hold until now. But I didn't expect that the temporary Team 7, which might be Naruto from the original work, actually traveled through time and space. Maybe this is an opportunity, a chance to counter invasion. The thousand-handed heavenly being's eyes flickered. Seeing that Naruto was speechless, he slowly spoke. Okay, Genkuro, you don't have to talk too much to them. The people of the ninja village era are the most loyal and foolish. It is useless to just talk to them unless you wake them up. I have known this for a long time, and I'm not here to watch you debate these issues. Sorry, Your Majesty, Kankuro said with an apologetic look on his face. No need to apologize, this is not your fault. Bring them all here. I think I need to have a good chat with them in person. Thousand-handed celestial being. I will obey your will, Your Majesty the Great God. Kankuro bowed. By the way, did you catch a fellow called Centipede? The thousand-armed heavenly being asked again. Indeed, they did. Kankuro nodded. Bring him along too. After the thousand-armed heavenly man finished speaking, the image slowly disappeared. Before disappearing, he was still staring at Naruto and the other three. Although he could rely on his own strength to instantly cross 1,000 miles and appear in front of the four people, he felt there was no need to do so. Because it wasn't just him who wanted to meet these four people, there were also other higher-level officials in the imperial capital. And he also needs time to notify other senior executives. What kind of sparks will be created when the Naruto characters I transformed meet the original Naruto team? I am really looking forward to it. Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura, Yamato, Sai. As you heard, I will send you and that fellow named Beizu to the imperial capital of Hyuju to meet His Majesty himself. He will decide what happens to you. Kankuro said. Can't we get in touch with the dragon vein? Maybe then we can go back directly without bothering you? Yamato cautiously probed. That's impossible. Outsiders are not qualified to touch the dragon veins. Kankuro gave Yamato a cold look. 4 huge mechanical arms unfolded, grabbed all 4 people in their hands, and left. What on earth is this thing? Why can it fly? Naruto sat on a leather sofa, staring in amazement at the ground and buildings below him that were getting farther and farther away from him through the glass. This is an air vortex aircraft with a maximum speed of 5,000 kilometers per hour. It is the best product for home travel. Would you like a bottle of happy water? Kankuro's voice rang out. Chapter 6 Imperial Might Gai Ino Igaraku. Naruto turned his head and saw Kankuro standing next to a cold white metal box. He gently opened the door of the box, and a mechanical arm took out a can of blue drink and threw it to him. Naruto quickly took over and said, "Is this a drink?" "Yes, a drink that makes you feel happy when you drink it. It is a must-have at home." After Kankuro finished speaking, he took out 4 more bottles and threw them to Yamato, Sakura, Sai, and Centipede respectively. Then he opened a bottle for himself, took a big gulp, and let out a relieved sigh. "It tastes really good, cold and refreshing, better than any drink I've had before." Naruto didn't think much about it and took a sip. "Kankuro-kun, you just said that this 5,000 kilometer speed aircraft is for home travel." Yamato took the happy water, but didn't drink it. Instead, he said with a serious look, "Of course, but this is something only rich people can have. Most people can't sit there. When ordinary people want to go out and travel to other cities or continents, they usually take the subway. That kind of thing is much slower, only about 200 to 300 kilometers per hour." Kankuro said as he walked over to a leather couch and sat down. "Only 200 or 300 kilometers per hour?" Yamato murmured, "That's when." The aircraft shook slightly. The next moment, the surrounding glass became blurry. Naruto, Sakura, Yamato, Sai and others knew that the aircraft had started flying very fast. "But isn't this too stable? Sitting in something so fast, how could I not feel a single bump? Is this the technology of the Shenwu Empire? Is this just for civilian use?" For the first time, Yamato felt the huge gap in technology. "Kanpa Kairo!" Kankuro shouted while lying on the sofa. "I'm here, Master!" A light voice rang out. This gave Naruto and his 3 companions as well as the centipede a fright. "Who is speaking?" Naruto exclaimed, looking left and right. "It's Kanpa Kairo, my AI butler. You can think of it as an invisible psychic beast. It's Kanpa Kairo. Turn on the TV," Kankuro said again. A black screen suddenly lit up in front of everyone. A man in a white chef's uniform who looked a little old was talking. "Ask me why I make the best ramen? The answer is of course only one word. Heart. Because I make ramen with my heart. Only by constantly researching and trying various combinations can I combine the best ramen. When making ramen, the most important thing is the soup, and the second is the chewiness of the noodles. Hey, isn't this the hand-beating uncle? How did he get on TV?" Naruto and the others were not surprised about the TV, because in the Naruto world, there are already these and other items such as refrigerators. What's so strange about this? He is the most famous ramen master in Hyuju today, and Ikaraku Ramen has more than 150 stores around the world. Kankuro said calmly, "Oh my. This is amazing. As expected of a hand-type uncle. I wonder which one tastes better, the Ikaraku Ramen in this world or the Ikaraku Ramen in our world. I really want to try them both," Naruto said and couldn't help swallowing. "There will be a chance," Kankuro replied casually. "Kanchero, switch drop. No. I can't do it anymore. Teacher lie. I really can't do it anymore. I need to rest for a while, you bunch of idiots. What do you think martial arts is? Have you forgotten the famous saying of Emperor Shenwu? Practicing martial arts is like rowing against the current. If you don't move forward, you will move backward. Keep up with me. If you can't keep up, practice skipping rope 1,000 times. Quick, quick, quick." In the picture, a group of men in green tights are tiredly following a young man with thick eyebrows and round eyes who is also wearing green tights and complaining repeatedly. In this regard, the young man with thick eyebrows and round eyes turned his head and scolded angrily. "Is this Iolai?" Naruto looked at the man with thick eyebrows and round eyes and asked in surprise. "Iolai here is so strong." Xiaoying was also surprised. "I don't know what the name of Iolai you are talking about is." Page 6. But this guy is called Rock Lee, and he is the disciple of the martial arts madman Might Guy. Kankuro said. "Martial madman Might Guy? Mr. Brow is actually called Martial Madman here." I'm thinking about his previous crazy appearance. If this world also has a personality, it seems right to call him that. The thick-browed teacher in this world should be very powerful, right? Of course he is the person with the highest martial arts realm besides His Majesty the Divine Marshal, Kankuro said with a serious look. As expected of Mr. Thick Eyebrows, he is really amazing. Naruto praised with a grin. Kanchero, switch drop beep. Beep, 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 beep. A burst of dynamic music started. In the center of the stage, a woman with long golden hair and wearing a purple dress, revealing her belly, was dancing dynamically with two other beauties. Beautiful lyrics came out of the blonde's mouth. Red lanterns are lit one by one. The celebration music has become a secret code. This is Ino. Naruto yelled in shock, pointing at the blonde on TV. Her name is Yamanaka Ino, and she's the lead singer of the famous band Elysium Dance Company in Fire Continent. Kankuro explained. Oh, how awesome. Ino in this world has become a big star. Ha ha ha, how awesome. Naruto laughed. Tusk. Looking at Ino on the stage, Sakura couldn't help but make a strange sound, with a hint of displeasure on her face. Can you tell me what I do in this world?" "You, Haruno Sakura, I don't know." Kankuro thought about it and slowly shook his head. After hearing this, Sakura didn't want to talk anymore. Fists clenched. Time passed by minute by minute. Kankuro was watching TV and felt hungry, so a mechanical puppet brought him food. The food was delicious, better than anything Konoha had ever tasted. Let Naruto and his party have a good experience. Sakura couldn't help but sigh. This life is so comfortable. If I can live in such a great house in the future, my life will be perfect. Well, of course this has to be with Sasuke. This is the Shenwu Empire established by your majesty. Kankuro said proudly upon hearing this. Seeing this, Sai on the side couldn't help but say, "A ninja cannot enjoy himself all the time, or he will become tired." "Okay." Kankuro glanced at Sai with a sidelong glance and said with some disdain, "Can't you always be in a state of enjoyment and become bored?" What a ridiculous statement. Why do the strong want to become stronger than others? Isn't it just to enjoy more privileges? You said you were from another world, the Ninja Village era. I don't know why you let a group of ordinary people with the name of daimyo ride on your heads. It's really ridiculous. And you are weak, not even as good as a group of ordinary guards, so you have no right to talk about burnout. That would make people laugh. Chapter 7. 1 million Kakashi teachers. These words made the four of them blush. What is this person talking about? How dare he talk about daimyo like this? Have their world-famous names all disappeared? These Konoha ninjas and even all the other ninja villages are really complete idiots. They clearly have power, but they don't want to become gods who dominate everything. Instead, they work for those ordinary ants. It's really ridiculous. At this time, Beizu, who had been silent all the time, smiled grimly. "Shut up, you damn bastard. If it weren't for you, there's no way we would have come to this strange world." Naruto yelled as he glared at the centipede. "Daimyo are born nobles. Without them, the whole world will be in chaos, and we are not weak. It's just that those guards are too strong," Sai said with a slightly strange tone. "A natural-born noble. In a world where force is respected, An ordinary person can also be called a natural-born noble. Poor brainwashed person. That kind of thing doesn't deserve to hold power. Only an existence as omnipotent and invincible as the Shenwu Emperor is worthy of it. Also, you are indeed weak, there is no denying that. Because the guards who defeated you were the peripheral soldiers that could be found everywhere. The overall strength is probably only at the level of a Jonin or elite Jonin in the ninja village era, Kankuro said with disdain. So what are ordinary people like here? Is the strength of a Jonin to an elite Jonin common among you? Why do you make it sound like they are so weak? This is the backbone of the ninja village anywhere. Yamato frowned. As for his strength, he is not even at the level of an elite Jonin at the moment, of course. Ordinary people are just ordinary people who need to be protected. They can master other skills, but they will never become incompetent wastes like the daimyo of the ninja village era who only knew how to enjoy themselves. As for the Jonin to elite Jonin, that is just the most basic strength, the standard for soldiers in the imperial capital. If you can't reach the strength of a Jonin in the ninja village era, it is better to be an honest farmer, Kankuro said nonchalantly. Standard duty for soldiers in the imperial capital. Farming. Naruto and the other three were shocked again. The centipede was also amazed. He thought about the experience when he had just arrived in this world and wanted to use puppets to cause trouble, but was beaten up by an ordinary passerby, and he kept sighing in his heart. Everyone in this world is ridiculously strong. May I ask, how many soldiers like this are there in the Shenwu Empire? Yamato said with a serious face. How many people? I don't know, probably more than 1,000,000. Kankuro said casually. 1,000,000 Kakashi-sensei? Naruto exclaimed. Wow, so amazing, Sakura murmured. This power is enough to rule the world. Beizu said with a greedy look on his face. If there were 1,000,000 Jonin or even elite Jonin in our world, we could easily rule the world. How come there are so many Jonin? Is it because of that strange power? Yamato frowned. Are you talking about Trukai? Kankuro asked. I don't know, but those guards, every time they attack, they will include the word real energy in it. Yamato thought for a moment and replied. That is the true energy, the power developed by His Majesty Shenwu. All those who master true Kai are called warriors. This power is stronger than chakra, but not as convenient as chakra. It is specifically used to strengthen oneself for combat. A strong warrior can use his true Kai to easily crush rocks, penetrate steel, and even blow up mountains. Kankuro said, looking a little envious. I see. I didn't expect that His Majesty Shenwu on your side is so great. Yamato sighed. No wonder he was able to end the ninja village era. He might be a more remarkable man than the first Hokage. Wow. Can you teach us this power called True Kai? I want to learn it too. The Kai finger gun, Kai mist kick, Kai paper stew, and Kai immobilization are all so powerful. So cool. Naruto's eyes lit up and he shouted happily. It. This is their secret technique. How could they teach it to outsiders like us? Sakura's forehead veins bulged. I secretly cursed Naruto for being an idiot. Wasn't he afraid that Kankuro in this world would be angry for saying such casual words? Now their lives are still in his hands. Although they have initially recovered their mobility, their chakra is still sealed. Yamato and Sai were also worried about Naruto. So I'm sorry. Naruto came to his senses after being scolded by Sakura. Don't apologize. If you want to learn, it's not impossible. Kankuro said. Is it true? Can you really teach us? Naruto said in surprise. Yamato, Sakura, and Sai were also surprised, and joy appeared on their faces. If only they could learn the true energy, become warriors, and bring it back to Konoha. Then Konoha will definitely be able to reach a higher level. Of course you can, but you must pass the test of the Empire and become an imperial citizen, said Kankuro. Become an imperial? You want us to betray Konoha? That's impossible. Naruto yelled firmly. Yamato, Sakura, and Sai also looked regretful, but at the same time they also showed an expression of as expected. There is really no free lunch in this world. Then there's nothing we can do, Kankuro said indifferently. Wait. They don't want to submit to His Majesty Shenwu, but I do. Beizu said again at this time. Page 7. That's right. I am very willing to submit to and serve a strong man like your majesty. Only the strong are worthy of ruling the world. Beizu said seriously. Kankuro, don't trust that bastard centipede. He is a villain. The words of such a man are not worthy of trust. Naruto shouted. Indeed, the words of a wanted criminal with extremely vicious intentions should not be believed, Sakura also said. Humph. I just can't stand seeing those rubbish stepping on my head. Beizu sneered. Oh, I'm not interested in the things in your world. But if you want to join the Empire, then go and apply to pass the test. Kankuro said. Thank you very much, Kankuro-sama. Beizu gave Naruto and Sakura a smug smile. Damn it! Naruto was so angry. If his chakra wasn't sealed, he would have blown that bastard's head off. He took a few deep breaths. Naruto suddenly said, That's right, Kankuro. Those guards respected you very much before and called you sir. Does this mean you are better than them? More powerful than those guards? Could this strange Kankuro with mechanical parts all over his body be a master who can rival the first level of Kage? Yamato, Sakura, and Sai were shocked when they thought of this. This is the truth, but they have never wanted to think about it. A master at the level of Kage is a powerful person that even a ninja village can only produce a few of. He is a well-known figure in the ninja world. Is this guy Kankuro also such a big shot? Chapter 8 Imperial Sasuke. Why is Naruto in another world so short and weak? Of course. I'm the Ace Mobile Suit Combat Specialist. He is also the main person in charge of guarding the Lulan Dragon Vein. If you can't even beat an ordinary guard, you might as well go home and farm. When Kankuro talked about the Ace Mobile Suit Combat Specialist and the main person in charge of guarding the Lulan Dragon Vein, pride unconsciously appeared on his face. Ace Mobile Suit Combat Specialist sounds awesome. Naruto exclaimed with his eyes sparkling. Just when Kankuro showed his pride, Naruto added, But what is that? Kankuro's face twitched. Using the understanding of people from your ninja village era, he is one of the strongest puppeteers. This is a title that only 5 people in the entire Oasis have. One of the strongest puppeteers, he is really amazing. Naruto said again. Humph. Mobile suits are what Oasis mainly researches under the orders of His Majesty the God of War. Their combat power is so strong that it is absolutely beyond the comprehension of those of you who are from the Ninja Village era. Even the Kage of your era couldn't defeat the mobile suit, Kankuro said proudly. Yamato, Sai, and Sakura just didn't believe it when they heard it, but he did not refute the other party. The group stayed in the aircraft, chatting and waiting for time to pass. Half a day passed. The speed of the aircraft slowly decreased and began to land. Kankuro stood up from the sofa and said, We have arrived at the imperial capital. Please follow me to meet the top leaders. Are we finally here? I wonder what that divine martial emperor will do to us. Sakura said a little worriedly. Don't worry, Sakura. I think His Majesty Jinwoo is actually a nice person. He won't make things difficult for us. Naruto is full of confidence and very optimistic. Yamato and Sai, however, looked worried. However, the current situation is no longer under their control and they can only leave it to fate. But then again, how prosperous will the imperial capital of this world be? Can we encounter ourselves in this world? If so, what will happen? Yamato and Sai were both worried. Until the aircraft stopped, the 5 people followed Kankuro out of the cabin door moment. Naruto and the other 3 were stunned by the scene before them. I saw that a group of people had gathered in the wide underground space. And when I saw a handsome man in black clothes, bare chest and black hair among this group of people, Naruto and Sakura's eyes suddenly turned red, and they screamed at the same time, "Sasuke! Sasuke! You bastard! Why did you go to Orochimaru's place? Come back to the village with me. This time I will definitely bring you back." Naruto wanted to rush forward excitedly. Yamato quickly reached out and grabbed Naruto, saying in a deep voice, "Calm down, Naruto. This is not the Sasuke of our world." Naruto was stunned when he heard this. After coming to his senses, he looked at Sasuke in this world with a complicated expression. "Sorry, I recognized the wrong person. This world's Sasuke? He looks a lot like the Sasuke from our world." Sai looked at the handsome young man and couldn't help but think secretly in his heart, "Hey, you are Naruto from another world? You are such a short, skinny guy, and you seem very weak. What about me in the other world? I am not as weak as you, am I?" Sasuke of the Shinwu Empire crossed his arms over his chest and looked at Naruto with a look of disdain. "Damn you, Sasuke. Why are you so annoying in this world or ours? You bastard, don't think you're great just because you're taller and stronger. And I'm not weak at all. I have been training with the lecherous immortal for 3 years. Do you know how much I have grown? This damn guy is looking down on me." Naruto yelled in anger. Although the Sasuke in front of him has the same face as the one in his own world, just more mature, his height is really tall. He looks at least 1.9 meters tall, and the black clothes he wears are also very fashionable and eye-catching. With his slightly exposed chest, he looks strong and handsome. It's so infuriating. Why is Sasuke in this world not only more handsome, but also taller? Naruto thought so and turned his gaze to the other people around Sasuke. "As long as you are a man, you can be shorter than 1.85 meters. Isn't that red-haired guy in casual clothes the Gaara I saw before? Why is he so tall and strong? I didn't notice him before. There really is something wrong with this world." Sakura stared at Sasuke with her eyes and kept murmuring, "My eyes are filled with memories, regret and excitement." And at this time, beside Sasuke, a blonde man who was 2 meters and 2 meters tall, with solid muscles all over his body and clothes bulging out, grinned and said, "This is me in another world. The reason why I am so thin must be because I haven't practiced martial arts, right? How about it? Do you want to join our Shenwu Empire? I will teach you martial arts. I guarantee you can have a perfect body like mine." As the blonde man spoke, he struck a bodybuilding pose, with his muscles bulging and throbbing. "Eh? Are you the me of this world?" Naruto was stunned when he heard the other person's words. The other people around him also widened their eyes. "Naruto from this world? No way, how could he be so strong?" Even Sakura turned her gaze to the blonde man and gasped in amazement. "Ha ha ha. That's right. I am the Namikaze Naruto of this world." The blonde, muscular man laughed. "Namikaze Naruto? Why are you called Namikaze Naruto? Shouldn't your last name be Uzumaki?" Naruto Hayate was stunned. "Ah, your question is really strange. My father's last name is Namikaze, so of course my last name is Namikaze. In the shinobi village era, did a woman from a big family like my mother's have the right to pass on my father's surname even if she married him? Or, in your world, the father married into the mother's family?" Imperial Naruto said in amazement. At this time, even the other blonde young handsome guy beside him showed a hint of surprise and said, "The me in that world married into a woman's family. This is really surprising, but if the target is Kushina, it's not impossible." Page 8. After saying this, the man scratched his head and smiled brightly. "The me in that world actually let Minato marry into my family. Ha 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 ha, this is so interesting. Uzumaki Naruto, this name sounds good too. Ha ha ha." Next to the handsome blonde young man, a beautiful red-haired woman couldn't help laughing. While laughing, she slapped the blond young man's back hard, making the blond young man smile bitterly. Ah ha ha ha. Are you two my parents in this world? Naruto Hate looked at the handsome man and beautiful woman who were talking in surprise and shouted, pointing at the two of them with shaking hands. Chapter 9. Isn't the tailed beast a power bank? That thing is very brutal. It seems that you in the other world are a complete idiot, Naruto. Imperial Sasuke also complained very coldly. This may be it's because I haven't practiced martial arts. Imperial Naruto scratched his head. But I have never seen my parents. Naruto Hayate scratched his head. Never seen it before? Why? Imperial Kushina, Imperial Minato and others all showed a hint of surprise. Because Naruto's parents died in an accident shortly after he was born. At this time, Yamato said with some heaviness, "Dead by accident?" Everyone in the Empire was shocked. That's impossible, right? Uncle Minato and Aunt Kushina are two of the most powerful masters in the Empire. Even if they are pure ninjas, they are very strong, Sasuke said in disbelief. The others also looked incredulous. Did something happen to Minato and I when we were little? But this isn't right. If that's the case, how would Naruto be born? And by the time I give birth to Naruto, Minato's strength will definitely not be weak. He will definitely be able to protect me. Is it possible that the Minato in that world is very weak? Completely different from my Minato? Imperial Kushina muttered, looking confused. Probably. Imperial Minato smiled bitterly. That's not the case. Minato-senpai is very strong. The reason for that death was the Nine-Tail Rebellion. Konoha experienced the Nine-Tails attack a long time ago, and Senior Minato died in order to protect the village, and the entire Konoha suffered heavy losses as a result. Yamato hurriedly explained, looking helpless. Kyuubi Rebellion? Everyone in the Empire was even more surprised. Can the nine-tailed fox cause heavy losses to a ninja village? Imperial Sasuke said in astonishment. Isn't that an excellent chakra generator? Gaara from the Empire, who came with us, who had been silent the whole time, also spoke. No way. Such a cute Kurama would actually kill people and destroy a village. Ah, it's hard to imagine. Imperial Naruto was also surprised. Looking at the reactions of the people in the Empire, the 4 members of the Naruto gaze group were also shocked. What are these words? Don't they know how terrifying the nine-tailed beast is? It's a natural disaster. It has extraordinary destructive power. How can ordinary people compete with it? No, maybe it's because the nine-tailed fox in this world is weaker. Yamato couldn't help but think. I never expected that Minato and I would die like this over there. No wonder you are so skinny, little Naruto. Imperial Kushina said with some sigh. Tears slowly overflowed from his big eyes, and he quickly ran to Naruto Hayate, hugged him in his arms, stroked his head and said, "My child, you have suffered so much, ah." Naruto was a little overwhelmed when being held. Just think of Kushina as your mother, little Naruto. Imperial Minato approached slowly and spoke gently. Haha, in that case, wouldn't it be like I have a new brother? That's great. Naruto-chan, from now on, you'll be my little brother. Imperial Naruto came to Hayate Naruto and hugged him with his right arm, which was so strong that it was thicker than Hayate Naruto's legs. Well, when Naruto Hayate heard this, his eyes turned slightly red. My heart is also extremely complicated. It turns out that his father is Minato Namikaze, the legendary hero, the 4th Hokage. Then why did those villagers treat him like that when he was clearly not a demon fox but the son of a hero? Maybe everyone thinks he is a fox demon and doesn't know the truth. But it's okay if everyone doesn't know, but why don't the 3rd generation grandfather and others know? This is impossible, right? The more Naruto Hayate thought about it, the more he felt something was wrong. The more he thought about it, the more uncomfortable he felt, until a throbbing sensation came from his soul. The discomfort disappeared immediately. Start thinking optimistically. Maybe this is a test from my father and my 3 generations of grandfather. As the son of the 4th Hokage, how could I think so badly of everyone in Konoha? He shook his head repeatedly in his heart. Okay, let's stop talking nonsense and go to see His Majesty, King Kuros said at this time. He did not forget his mission. Well, I should indeed go see His Majesty. We can't keep him waiting too long. Kushner released Naruto and gently stroked his head. Let's go, but there's no need to rush. This time we can come here with His Majesty's permission. I'm sure he must be secretly observing this place at this time. I want to see what will happen when 2 worlds meet the same person. Imperial Minato said with a smile on his face, not forgetting to look up at the sky. Then let's talk while we walk. We are very curious about your world. Can you tell us your story, little Naruto? Sure, I'll tell you. Naruto smiled optimistically. Begin to tell your story to everyone in the Empire. From graduating from the Ninja Academy, to participating in some small missions and encounters with Zabuza and Haku, to participating in the Chunin exam, etc. Upon hearing this, people in the Empire also expressed their opinions from time to time. Haku and Zabuza? I didn't expect that they were so miserable in that world. But here, Baiki is a very popular singer. Zabuza is an excellent water guard who has been engaged in water operations. The entire Shuju is grateful for such an outstanding talent like him. You're going to learn from Jiraiya-sensei during the Chunin exam? That's not bad. Although Jiraiya-sensei is a little unreliable, he's still very strong. So in your world, I was 13 years old and had just opened my 2 Magatama Sharingan? I couldn't even beat the likes of Haku and Zabuza. He is just as much of a waste as you. Orochimaru attacks Konoha. Is the Orochimaru in your world quite capable? Naruto continued to tell his story. But there are some important things that are not revealed. But when he was about to mention it, he was stopped by Yamato. Among them, there was news that only Sasuke and Uchiha Itachi were left in the entire Uchiha clan, and that Sasuke left Konoha for revenge. Even Unify Rijin's death was concealed. The group quickly left the underground space and came to the ground. What comes into view is an extremely tall building, with the tallest one even reaching hundreds of meters. The people walking on the street were wearing extremely fashionable and beautiful clothes, which made Sakura's eyes sparkle. But before they could say anything, after seeing them, these people burst into cheers of surprise, awe. It's the Empire's twins, our pride. Sasuke-sama, Naruto-sama, Sasuke-sama, Sasuke-sama. I want to bear your children. Naruto-sama. Me hard. I want to die beneath you. Minato-sama. Our son. Smile. Smile. Kushina-sama. Please update your Weibo about you and Minato-sama. Kushina-sama. Minato-sama. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. A group of people screamed wildly. There was also a group of women rushing towards Naruto, Sasuke, and Minato. Looking at the posture of this group of people, Team Naruto Hayate was startled. Naruto Hayate even shouted, "Hey, hey, hey. Are these people crazy? Don't come over here. Give birth. Do it harder? How can these women be so shameless? Saying such things in public. So disgusting." Hayate Sakura blushed slightly. But more of it is anger. Chapter 10. How come these damn are even more shameless than those in my world? No matter which world they are in, they all like to seduce Sasuke. But it's surprising that Naruto in this world is so popular. Chapter 10. Imperial Sasuke, why are you so weak? The Naruto, Sasuke, and Minato-senpai of this world are really very popular. Yamato stroked his forehead and sighed. This way it won't cause any disturbance. Sai whispered. Such noise. You are a bunch of stupid women. Get away from me. Imperial Sasuke's face darkened. His eyes widened and a blood-red light flashed in his pupils. All the women who wanted to get close were stunned. Then he said happily, Yes. We listen to Master Sasuke, get out of here right now. After saying that, they dispersed happily. Is this an illusion? Sakura said in surprise. Sasuke is really amazing, using illusion on so many people at once. Yamato also took a breath. They are just a group of ordinary people. This level of illusion is nothing, right? Imperial Sasuke sneered. This is also amazing. After all, the target is so many people. If it were in our Konoha village, even many elite Jonin wouldn't be able to do it. Sakura still praised. Naruto hate has some taste. Damn it, why is this world's arrogant Sasuke so popular? Not only that, Naruto in this world is also very popular. Sakura added. Yes, why? Naruto hate was stunned. I don't know. Sakura glanced at Imperial Naruto and thought carefully. Although his face looks sunny, his body is too strong, which is not her type. I can't understand because I have strong muscles. That's a sign of health. Imperial Naruto smiled and struck a bodybuilding pose. Why do I feel like I'm watching Rock Lee and Sensei Nongmei? This Naruto is so weird. Naruto hate and Sakura couldn't help but think in their hearts. No more disturbance from passers-by. As Naruto hate continued to tell his story, the other three members of the Gale trio were also not idle. Instead, he turned into a curious baby and kept asking questions. Why are the houses here so high? Aren't they afraid of being destroyed by an attack? If so, there will be heavy losses, right? Sai asked while walking. No one in this world can threaten the Empire. What are those iron birds in the sky? Why do they have a cloth bag hanging on their heads? Are they puppets for transportation? Almost. But here, it's called the LED.me takeaway puppet. What is that? People here can use their mobile phones to order takeout, so they can enjoy delicious food without leaving their homes. Wow, this sounds great. But what is a cell phone? It's a small computer that you can carry in your pocket. This is really great. Your world is truly amazing. Those clothes are so beautiful. Can I go to the stores that sell them? Can. Wow. Thank you so much. This dress is so beautiful. How much is it? 2. What is this? Ma'am, please pack this lady's clothes and I'll pay for them. Walk, tell stories, and stroll along the way. Sakura can be said to be the happiest. After a while, she changed into a beautiful dress and carried a small bag, turning into a fashionable and beautiful woman. She kept spinning around and said to the people around her with a smile, "How is it? How is it? Isn't my outfit beautiful? Well, it looks very nice and suits you very well." Yamato looked at Sakura seriously at this moment. It has to be said that at this time, she has already begun to mature, with a well-proportioned figure and full of youthful vitality. She is very attractive to mature men. It's really beautiful. As expected of Sakura, said Hey Naruto happily. The people from the Empire also nodded repeatedly and praised. She's pretty, youthful, and energetic. She's a cute and lively beauty, not bad. Sakura became even happier with this series of praises until the clothes are nice, but the person is ugly, so overall it's still not good looking. Sai just took a look and couldn't help frowning. Sakura became furious when she heard this and punched Sai on the head. Sai screamed and fell straight to the ground. This scene stunned everyone in the Empire. Imperial Kushina laughed loudly and said, "Aha, you deserve it. How dare you say that to a pretty girl? But Sakura has a nice personality. I like her. This personality is quite different from our Sakura. I'm sorry I made everyone laugh." Sakura's face also turned red at this time, and she quickly grabbed the fallen Sai, dragging him while walking. What? You guys were actually defeated by a group of Dragon Vein guards in the end? How weak are you guys? After hearing Naruto's story about how he traveled through time and space and wanted to explore the Dragon Veins, he was finally defeated by several Dragon Vein guards. Imperial Sasuke couldn't hold it anymore and said with a look of horror, "You're really weak. It would be better for you to join our empire, then at least you can become stronger." Imperial Naruto also complained. Damn it. I told you I'm not weak. It's just that those guards are too strong. You're just as annoying as the guy over there. Don't keep talking about me. You seem so strong. I don't think you are that great. Hey, Naruto yelled. When everyone in the Empire heard this, they looked a little strange. I'm not that good? Ha 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 ha. Imperial Sasuke covered his face with his right hand, shook his shoulders, and let out a creepy laugh. The 4 members of the Gale group were all stunned. Hey, what's wrong with you, Sasuke? Are you crazy? Said Naruto Hayate with some concern. It's just an old illness that's come back. Don't worry about him. Imperial Naruto shook his head. Ha 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 ha, interesting. Very interesting. Naruto from another world, since you are so confident, how about using your body to personally feel my power? Imperial Sasuke slowly stopped laughing and looked at Hayate Naruto with a strange look. Huh? You think I don't dare? Arrogant Sasuke. But you can't use the power called Kai. How about it? Naruto Hayate said cunningly. He is not a real fool. Having been abused by those dragon vein guards, he naturally knows how powerful that kind of force is. If Imperial Sasuke also possesses this power, then he will most likely still not win. But if the other party doesn't use this power, then he won't be afraid of him. Naruto Hayate has this confidence in himself. Ha, not using True Kai? I don't even need it to deal with you. Come on. When the battle begins, as long as you let me move one step, you will win. Imperial Sasuke lowered his arms and crossed them over his chest, his expression teasing. How dare you look down on me like that? Damn you, arrogant Sasuke. Naruto Hayate was furious. Imperial Sasuke raised the corner of his mouth slightly, looked at Imperial Minato and said, I'll leave everything to you from now on, Minato-senpai. No problem, everyone move a little closer to me. Imperial Minato looked deeply at Hayate Naruto, and when everyone got closer, he quickly formed a seal. Next moment. The 4 people including Naruto Hayate and everyone in the Empire disappeared. Appeared outside a forest, in an empty space with no one around. Imperial Sasuke slowly left the group and headed towards the center of the clearing. Seeing this, Naruto rolled up his sleeves and strode away from the team, muttering as he walked, HMPH. Arrogant Sasuke, wait and see how I deal with you. Without true energy, I won't be afraid of you. Kankuro couldn't help but cover his face when he saw this. Naruto from your world is really an idiot. 11. Chapter 11, Naruto vs. Sasuke 11, page 10. Is the Sasuke in this world very strong? Sakura asked. It's more than just very strong. It's simply terrifyingly strong. Uchiha Sasuke, Namikaze Naruto. They are the twin stars of the Empire and are powerful men recognized by His Majesty Shenwu. They are also the 2 most powerful people since the establishment of the Shenwu Empire Academy. Even Gaara is far inferior to them. Teikoku Kankuro said with a serious expression. I can't do anything about this after all. They are the reincarnations of Indra and Asura. Gaara of the Empire looked helpless. It's not that he's not good enough, but these 2 people are just cheating. The 2 most powerful people since the establishment of the Shenwu Empire Academy. They seem very impressive. But who are Indra and Ashura? How can Sasuke and Naruto be their reincarnations? Sakura asked, somewhat confused. Yamato and Sai were equally puzzled. Those are the 2 sons of Old Man Liudo. Imperial Kankuro said. 6 Paths Old Man. Who is that? A long time ago, there seemed to be an existence called the Sage of 6 Paths. Imperial Kushina said with a grin. 6 Paths Sage? Hiss, are you kidding me? Sakura, Yamato, and Sai all gasped. This is a legendary being. Are you sure you are not kidding? And you dare to call such a being the 6 Paths Old Man? How disrespectful. The 3 of them looked strange. I didn't believe it in my heart. However, the people in the empire did not continue the topic of the old man Liu Dao at this time. Because Height Naruto and Imperial Sasuke have already taken their positions and are staring at each other. However, compared to Naruto Height's solemnity, Imperial Sasuke, however, looked relaxed and just folded his arms across his chest, looking at Height Naruto with interest. "Why don't you attack me? Let me see how strong you are." "Humph. Arrogant Sasuke. I'll let you know how powerful I am." Multiple shadow clone technique. Naruto Height shouted and formed seals with his hands. All of a sudden, accompanied by a puff of smoke, hundreds of Naruto appeared. They roared and rushed towards Imperial Sasuke. Multiple shadow clones? There are hundreds of them. You really have a lot of chakra. But why can't we even defeat those guards? Imperial Sasuke tilted his head and asked as if he was a little surprised, looking at the group of Gale Naruto rushing towards them. His body still didn't move. However, purple energy slowly emerged from his body. The purple energy condensed and transformed into a giant figure with only the upper body, 5 or 6 meters tall. The giant held 2 swords and danced vigorously. Boom! Exclamation, exclamation, the terrifying sword energy flew out. While slicing the earth into pieces, the groups of shadow clones were chopped into smoke. What is this? The Gale Narutos cried out in shock, but did not retreat and continued to rush forward. No matter whether you punch, kick, or stab the giant with a kunai, the result is always that you will either be turned into smoke by the recoil force or be blasted away with a clanging sound. Even if Imperial Sasuke stands still, Gale Naruto seems unable to cause any harm to him, showing his invincibility. What the hell is this? Why are my attacks having no effect? A group of Naruto asked at the same time. Annoyance, shock, and confusion appeared on his face at the same time. This is Susanoo, an ability that only the main Jikaya Sharingan possesses. It is also the power that was once called God by the Uchiha people in ancient books. Don't the Uchiha in your world have this kind of power? It's so surprising. As expected, you who lived in the ninja village era were not only stupid, but also weak and pathetic. Imperial Sasuke had a calm expression, but his attitude was extremely arrogant and superior. Boom. 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 Susanoo kept waving his arms. Sword energy flew everywhere, and groups of shadow clones were chopped and exploded. This made the group of Naruto even angrier. Come on. Keep trying to please me. Is this the limit of your strength? As expected, the people from the ninja village era are only good at talking. Imperial Sasuke looked mocking. Damn you, arrogant Sasuke. Don't underestimate me. Rasengan. Suddenly, a loud roar sounded, and Naruto holding a light blue energy ball fell from the sky and pressed the entire ball hard on the purple Susanoo. Hyolonglong, the light blue energy balls kept spinning, trying to destroy the surface of Susanoo. But after a while, Susanoo was not damaged at all. Instead, another pair of arms condensed under the pair of arms, and then suddenly grabbed Naruto Height in his hands. He applied a little force, and accompanied by Naruto's pain, with a series of bangs, all the shadow clones turned into smoke. Look down on others. How can a weak person like you be worthy of me looking up to you? You don't even have the right to dance. How pathetic. Imperial Sasuke said indifferently. Damn you, stinky-ass Sasuke. Naruto struggled and yelled in annoyance. I was angry and a little discouraged. Why? Why have I practiced for 3 whole years? And my strength is still so weak. Why can't I just defeat a guard, but I'm also so powerless against the Sasuke? I am so weak, what can I do? Naruto Height looked anxious, and inevitably recalled the scene when he first met Sasuke in his own world. As powerless as ever, I could only watch the other person leave. Why is all this happening? I am so unwilling to accept this. When Naruto Height thought about it to the end, his original pupils gradually turned into vertical pupils. The beard on the face is elongated. A bright red chakra appeared on his body. When the people watching the battle from afar saw this, their expressions changed slightly. Yamato exclaimed, "Oh no! If this chakra is released, there will be huge chaos. I must stop Naruto immediately." After saying that, he wanted to step forward. But a big hand quickly covered his shoulder, followed by the gentle voice of Imperial Minato. "Don't worry, Sasuke can handle it. Just trust him." I never expected that the me in the other world is actually the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. So after the father and mother in that world died, did they seal the Nine-Tails in that me? That's not a good option. Imperial Naruto frowned. The Nine-Tails destroyed the village, and Naruto became the Jinchuriki. What on earth was Minato doing in that world? Really? Imperial Kushina complained. His consciousness was in a trance, and when Naruto came to his senses, he had already arrived in a dark space. In front of him, inside the huge cage, the nine-tailed fox looked at the discouraged blonde boy cunningly and whispered, "Regret. Annoyance. This is the consequence of being powerless. Come on. Use my power more. Only in this way can you win and achieve your goal. Take him back. You can't do anything by your own strength." Come on, the extremely seductive words echoed in Naruto's ears. Chapter 12. Imperial Sasuke's eyes. Using your power, can it really change everything? Can it really bring Sasuke back? Naruto's entire body was covered by the huge shadow of the Nine Tails, and he lowered his head and whispered, "Of course, come on, accept me." Kyuubi continued. Bright red chakra gradually surrounded Naruto. "Hey, Naruto from another world, you don't think you can defeat me by relying on the power of the Nine Tails, do you?" Beside him, a voice sounded which made Naruto feel a little surprised and disgusted. Let him look up suddenly. He saw the tall figure of Imperial Sasuke standing beside him, looking at the huge red fox in front of him with a mocking look on his face. "It's you. What are you doing here?" Naruto asked in surprise. "You little brat, are you afraid that Naruto will use my power, so you want to stop him?" The Nine Tails narrowed his eyes, and a gleam of brightness flashed in them. "Nine Tails, is this your true form? You don't look cute at all, and your chakra is a bit strange. It feels like a half-finished product. You in the other world are really strange." Imperial Sasuke did not respond to the words of the man and the fox, but instead looked at the Nine Tails carefully and said, "Damn you little brat. Who are you calling a half-finished product?" Roar! The huge fox monster in the cage was driven mad with rage, and bright red chakra surged out. Page 11. Naruto felt a terrible breath and felt suffocated. But Imperial Sasuke, who was standing next to him, just glared. Next moment, the originally ordinary black eyes turned purple, with strange circles around them. "Quiet. Kyuubi." His voice was very soft, but it seemed to have terrifying power. The Nine Tails, which was just so aggressive, immediately fell silent, and looked at Imperial Sasuke with horror and said, "Uchiha brat. You actually have eyes like this? How is this possible?" "This is," I said, "quiet." Imperial Sasuke frowned slightly. His eyes widened again. Kyuubi suddenly lost his spirit and became dazed. "What did you do to this stinking fox?" Beside him, Naruto said in surprise, "Just to quiet down this arrogant fox." "Well, it's time for us to get out of here," Imperial Sasuke said, and the figure disappeared outside world. Naruto was just in a trance when he heard a gentle voice. All right. Stop it, Sasuke. It's not nice to bully little Naruto like this." The muscular, 2-meter tall Imperial Naruto has appeared next to Naruto. He gently placed his right hand on Susanoo and grabbed Naruto's arm, squeezing it hard. "Pen!" Exclamation! The energy arm that seemed indestructible in the battle with Naruto just now was crushed in an instant. Naruto fell to the ground. He coughed a few times uncomfortably, looked around and said in a daze, "Sasuke, what happened just now?" "Humph, a weak fellow, it's really hard to imagine. It would be so tragic if I were as weak as you are now." The Susanoo on Imperial Sasuke gradually disappeared. There was no response to Naruto Heiat's question. Is power really that important? For this, can we even abandon the village, said Naruto Heiat with some disappointment. Strength is indeed important, but leaving the place where you were born and raised for it is definitely not a good thing. When Imperial Sasuke said this, Heiat Naruto's eyes lit up. But the next words that Imperial Sasuke said made him roll his eyes again. But it's understandable that we would want to leave the ninja village, a product of the backward, cruel old times. It seems that I in that world was not such a fool. You arrogant fellow, you keep talking about the ninja village. You have no idea how hard everyone in the village works and how energetic they are. Humph, said Naruto Yugi angrily, turning his head away, not wanting to look at the arrogant face of Imperial Sasuke. All right. The battle is over, don't be angry, little Naruto. Sasuke is like this. Apart from his tough talk, he is actually not a bad person at heart. Besides, it's normal that you can't beat him. Sasuke is one of the most powerful men in the entire empire. Also, if you want to become a strong person, you should rely on your own strength, not external forces. Imperial Naruto gently patted his younger brother, Heiat Naruto, on the shoulder and said meaningfully. However, due to the overly powerful force, Naruto Heiat was still grimacing and felt as if his bones were about to break. He frowned and said in pain, "Another me, your power is too strong, isn't it? I couldn't defeat that purple monster just now, but you broke it into pieces with just one move. It's even stronger than Granny Tsunade's super strength. Hahaha, because I'm practicing muscle martial arts. His Majesty even praised me as a genius in muscle martial arts." Imperial Naruto touched his head and smiled innocently. So who is stronger, you in this world or Sasuke in this world? Naruto Heiat stood up from the ground, dusted himself off, and asked curiously. They are the twin stars of the empire and their strength is almost the same. The voice of Teikoku Kinkiro was heard, and he and a group of people walked slowly over. Who said there is almost the same difference? I am obviously stronger, Imperial Sasuke said dissatisfiedly. So far, our record is 25 wins and 25 losses. Imperial Naruto laughed. The most recent victory belongs to me. Of course I am stronger, Imperial Sasuke said unhappily. I'm the first one to get 25 wins. Imperial Naruto did not back down. Looking at the two of them, Naruto Heiat couldn't help but smile. Not much different, that's good in this world. He and Sasuke seem to have a very good relationship and their strengths are similar. They should be rivals and friends who recognize each other. That's great, I wish the damned arrogant Sasuke could have the same relationship with me. Naruto couldn't help but think and said, "Stuffy Sasuke, just wait. Sooner or later I will surpass you." Oh, you're not a very capable guy, but you're quite good at talking big. Very good. Then I will give you time to catch up, until you can't even see my back. Imperial Sasuke crossed his arms. That sounds so arrogant. Naruto Heiat was a little stunned. These are classic quotes from His Majesty Shenwu when he was young. As a fan of His Majesty, I certainly can't miss it when I encounter the right scene. Imperial Naruto smiled. The classic quotes of His Majesty Shenwu when he was young? What are all these things? Naruto Heiat was confused. Here, this is it. Do you want to learn it? Imperial Naruto took out a book with the portrait of Senju Yamato printed on it from his arms and handed it to Heiat Naruto. Chapter 13. The Nine-Tailed Fox's keen perception is even more terrifying than the Six-Paths Sage. The Divine Emperor's thousand-handed invincible heavenly man quotations. This is the philosophy of truth that you cannot miss. Learn it, use it well, and you can become a cool man like His Majesty. There is such a thing, Naruto Heiat muttered, opening the first page. Don't be too persistent. Although I don't want to kill you, it's hard to master the power of stepping over ants without killing them. It comes from the 40th year of Konoha, when Emperor Jimmu attacked the entire Reigakure village. Don't bluff, that will only show your weakness. It comes from the 40th year of Konoha, when Emperor Jimmu fought against Iwagakure Anoki. No one stands on the top from the beginning, no matter you, me, or even God, but the unbearable vacancy of the throne of the entire ninja world will soon end. From now on, I will stand at the top. I will rule the entire ninja world and change everything. I'll give you time to catch up. Until you can't even see my back. The more Naruto read, the brighter his eyes became. Finally, he held up the quotations high and shouted, "Oh, that's great." These words, coupled with those scenes, really make my blood boil just thinking about them. This feeling is so great. Really, Yamato, Sakura, and Sai looked at each other in silence. These words are so pretentious, are they true or false? How can a person say such words when facing a whole village? HMPH. You still have some vision. Imperial Sasuke curled up the corners of his mouth, and his eyes became much gentler when he looked at Naruto. Ha ha ha. Of course it's no problem for you. Very good, little Naruto. If you know how to appreciate His Majesty's invincible quotes, then we will all be best friends. However, if you want to apply what you have learned flexibly, you need strong support. If your strength is too weak and you are always the loser, then you can only wait for your opponent to apply these words to you. I think this is something that all of His Majesty's fans cannot accept. Imperial Naruto said seriously. What? When Naruto Hayate heard about the issue of strength, he suddenly felt a headache. His own strength is not bad. He had previously used the Rasen Shuriken to defeat an Akatsuki member who had fought against the first Hokage. But the people here are stronger than each other. What can he do? He is also desperate. Even the powerful Stinky Fox in my body seems to be useless. Both Dai Naruto and Sasuke are indeed very strong. But was that purple giant just now really the power of the Sharingan? Why have I never seen it? At this time, Haruno Sakura asked curiously. That is an ability that only the Mangekyo Sharingan, which is above the ordinary 3 Magatama, possesses. The Mangekyo is an eye that only the geniuses of the Uchiha clan possess. Imperial Watergate Smile Introduction. Is that so? I wonder if our Sasuke has such eyes, Haruno Sakura whispered, thinking about the powerful strength displayed by Sasuke Hayate during her meeting, and wondered if there was anything else hidden. If the other person also has this kind of eyes, can Naruto really bring Sasuke back to the village? Huh. It's true. Page 12. It's okay that the previous Uzumaki Naruto didn't know about the Mangekyo. I didn't expect that none of you knew the fame of my Uchiha Mangekyo. It seems that the Uchiha in your world are all useless guys. Imperial Sasuke showed a hint of disappointment on his face, and said with contempt, "The power of the kaleidoscope is so strong, it's normal that it doesn't exist, right?" Yamato smiled bitterly. If those Uchiha really had eyes like this, the village would be in big trouble. Sasuke opened his Mangekyo at the age of 10. Imperial Naruto smiled. The faces of the 4 members of the Gale group twitched. I was extremely speechless. The people in this world are really so abnormal and strong, possessing a kaleidoscope at the age of 10, and being able to use such terrifying power. Is that human being? They can't compare with the people in this world. However, Beizu didn't know much about the battle, so he didn't have much feeling. He just watched silently, acting like a nobody. Very impressive, arrogant Sasuke. Naruto Hayate couldn't help but admire it. Being praised by a weak person is not something to be happy about. Sasuke sneered. Damn you, arrogant Sasuke. Don't be so proud. Even though you are so powerful, aren't you still no better than the me in this world? Naruto Hayate broke down and cursed. Namikaze Naruto is great. What does it have to do with you, Uzumaki Naruto? Imperial Sasuke smiled coldly. This made Naruto even more angry, and he yelled, "Damn it. Damn that stinky Sasuke. Brother Dai Naruto. Let's go together. We can definitely defeat this stinky Sasuke. Little Ming brother. That's a good idea. Then let us brothers fight side by side. Ha 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 ha. Imperial Naruto laughed. Immediately there was another wave of muscle display. Pretend to go up. Alright, Naruto, stop messing around with little Naruto. Now that we have finished the discussion, let's continue on our way. We have been stopping and starting along the way, and your majesty might really be getting impatient. Kushina smiled and patted Naruto's head to comfort him. The group finally continued on their journey. Go halfway. Inside Naruto, the Nine Tails, which had long since regained its freedom, was so angry that it yelled in the sealed space, "Damn Uchiha! Damn brat! A bunch of uneducated bastards! A coward who dares not to fight me head-on except using his eyes. Damn you! Don't think you can treat me like this just because you have the eyes of the old man Liudao. When I was with old man Liudao, you were not even born yet. Damn it, wait this breath." The nine-tailed fox suddenly looked up and looked ahead through Naruto Hei's eyes miles away, above the clouds that ordinary people cannot see with their naked eyes. It sensed a terrifying and unusual aura. This aura became clearer as Naruto got closer. In its perception, it began to expand continuously, slowly turning into a giant phantom that stood tall and straight, with its shadow covering the world, and whose face could not be seen clearly. Great. So strong. Terribly strong. Even though we didn't get any closer. But just from this breath I can conclude that the owner of the breath is definitely a guy who is more terrifying than the old man Liudao. Is that the guy? The Emperor Shenwu? How could such a terrifying person exist in this world? Senju Yamato, the Senju clan, the old man of 6 paths. I didn't expect that such a monster would appear among your descendants. Compared with his chakra, the chakra of Senju Hashirama is nothing. Damn it! Is Naruto going to meet such a dangerous guy? This is bad. This guy will definitely be able to discover my existence if he attacks me. How can I resist? No, I have to think of a way. Chapter 14: The Terrifying Aura of the Thousand-Handed Celestial Being. Shock. The nine-tailed fox's eyes rolled as he frantically thought of a solution. Finally, he gritted his teeth and took the initiative to contact Uzumaki Naruto. Hey. Brat. Okay. Naruto Height, who was following the people of the Empire, was stunned. Somewhat strangely, I thought to myself, it's you, the stinky fox. What do you want me to do? You little brat. Don't follow them any further. Let's go to another place. Do you hear me? Nine Tails said fiercely. Why should I listen to you, you stinky fox? I am doing this for your life. There is a scary guy ahead. If he wants to kill you, you will surely die even if I help you. Jiyue said in a serious voice. Tusk, help me. I didn't see you doing anything when facing Sasuke just now, said Naruto with a little contempt. That's because of his eyes. His eyes restrained me. Otherwise, I would have beaten that brat to death long ago. The nine-tailed fox was furious. So you better shut up, you stinky fox. You little brat. If you keep going like that, you might actually die. You stinky fox, if they wanted to kill me, they would have done it long ago. Why would they have to wait until now? I can't even beat a single guard from their country. It is said that there are 1,000,000 such guards in their country, Naruto said at the end, his expression downcast again. You little brats. Those guards are nothing powerful at all. Listen to me and don't follow them there. As long as you listen to me this time, I will never cause trouble for you in the future and will let you use my power. By then, let alone the guards, there won't be many people in the world who can be your opponent. Kyubai's voice sounded a little impatient. Are you afraid of the stinky fox? Naruto finally felt the fear of the nine tails. I'm not afraid. I just don't want you to die, you idiot. If you die, I will also die temporarily and wait for decades before I can be resurrected. Kyuubi yelled. You're lying. You stinky fox. Naruto's voice suddenly became low, revealing certainty. Nine-tailed silence, you're right. I'm really scared, but you little brat. Don't even think about having an easy time. Aren't you very proud now? Then feel how I feel. Feel the terror of that guy. Kyuubi turns on perception sharing next moment. Naruto Height, who was originally walking with the crowd, immediately felt an extremely terrifying aura enveloping him. A few kilometers ahead, a huge shadow tens of thousands of meters tall emerged and completely enveloped him. Naruto Hei's limbs stiffened and sweat poured down his body like rain. He felt like he couldn't breathe. A few frightened noises began to come out of my throat unconsciously. Haha, you little brat. Do you understand how terrifying it is now? Inside the sealed space, Kyuubi mocked with sweat all over his forehead. Noticed the abnormality of Naruto Height. The other three members of the Gale trio couldn't help but exclaimed, Naruto, what's wrong with you? Is this a shock? Is it because of too keen senses? Imperial Minato wondered. That stupid fox is doing unnecessary things again. Imperial Sasuke glanced at Naruto Hei's belly calmly, and the purple light in his eyes flashed again. Naruto, who was originally stiff and terrified, finally looked better. He collapsed to the ground and gasped heavily. Ha ha ha, what was that just now? I saw a huge giant. So scary as Naruto Height spoke, there was still fear in his eyes. Naruto, what's wrong with you? What giant? There's nothing here, Sakura said worriedly. I think I sensed your majesty's presence just now. Is it because of the nine-tailed fox? Imperial Minato muttered, looking towards Imperial Sasuke. Who else could it be except that stupid fox? The tailed beasts are extremely sensitive, and they should have sensed the terror of your majesty, but I don't know why that stupid fox shared this feeling with this dwarf. Page 13. Imperial Sasuke said. It's okay, don't be afraid, Naruto-chan, the Empire is safe, don't be afraid. Your Majesty is also a good person who is easy to talk to. Kushina patted Naruto's back gently in a soothing tone. After a while, Jai Fenming finally came to his senses and continued to move forward with a strange look on his face. Sealed space. The Nine Tails, who had completely lost contact with Naruto, was worried. Damn brat. Now that you know how terrifying that guy is, you should at least avoid him, right? If you continue to follow me, I might really be killed by you. Arrive. Imperial Watergate, who was leading the way, stopped. The Gale Four looked at the 9 dragon pillars hundreds of meters high surrounding the huge palace, and a group of guards in black windbreakers were stationed there. They couldn't help but exclaimed, how magnificent is this where His Majesty Shenwu lives? It is more than 100 times more luxurious than the daimyo's mansion. Humph. My name is not as important as His Majesty Shenwu. You guys better not compare yourself with His Majesty Shenwu by using your name, because it is an insult to His Majesty. If anyone hears you, you'll be in trouble. Imperial Sasuke reminded. And this time, the few guards who were originally closer to them had already cast murderous glances at the Gale Quartet. This look frightened the foursome and made them tremble. They had no doubt that if there were no people from the Empire following them, these guards would have taken action. What I just said was heard. Whoosh! Boom! That's when, accompanied by a golden lightning, a tall figure with white hair and wearing a dark windbreaker and carrying a long sword on his back suddenly appeared. You are finally here. Please go in quickly. Although His Majesty does not mind your lateness, some other higher-ranking officials are waiting anxiously. Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi-senpai. Seeing this figure, Naruto, Sakura, and Yamato exclaimed at the same time. There was a strong sense of joy in the voice. Kakashi-sensei. So I'm your teacher in another world. What an honor. The white-haired figure raised the corners of his mouth slightly. Oh ha 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 ha. This is what Kakashi's face looks like under his mask. Ha 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 damn Kakashi-sensei. I never thought that we would actually see his true face in this world. Hey, Naruto pointed at Imperial Kakashi and laughed. Kakashi-sensei looks pretty good, but why is he still single and wears a mask? That's really weird, Sakura muttered to herself. The Kakashi-senpai here seems very different from the one we have. He looks much more energetic. Although I really want to fight Kakashi-senpai. But everyone in this world is ridiculously strong. Let's just forget it. Yamato looked at Imperial Kakashi with burning eyes and finally thought, will the copy ninja in this world still be strong without the Sharingan? Sai thought to himself. Chapter 15 Naruto's team officially meets with Emperor Zolong. Is it worth being so happy to see my true face? Am I that shameful in the other world? Imperial Kakashi blinked in confusion. Ha ha ha. Kakashi-sensei in our world always wears a mask. One time, Sakura, Sasuke, and I followed Kakashi for a whole day and watched him go to Ikaraku Ramen, but in the end we didn't see his true face. I always thought Kakashi-sensei had a sausage mouth. Hey, Naruto laughed. Maybe our Kakashi-senpai may have been injured in the mouth or face. Yamato added. I thought to myself, if Kakashi-senpai was as handsome as the man in front of him, there would be absolutely no reason for him to wear a mask all the time or even read pornographic novels. He must be hurt and can't find a girlfriend, which is why he is so depressed and mean. Yes, you can't be wrong. Even Sakura thought so. Ah, is that so? That's really a pity. I didn't expect that I in another world would be so miserable. But now, all of you should come in with me. His Majesty and the others are waiting for you. Imperial Kakashi said with some regret, then turned and walked towards the palace behind him. Everyone, follow up. Imperial Minato also stopped smiling. The Gale 4 and Centipede took a deep breath, calmed themselves down a little, and followed. Next, they will face the Emperor of the Shenwu Empire. The man who rules the world. Tread, step, step. Everyone was very quiet. There was only the sound of silent footsteps around. Until you step into the palace. Naruto Height discovered that there was a huge ninja formation above the ground, emitting a blue light. After a flash of light, they had come to another place surrounded by clouds and mist. And at the very front, the sturdy, long-haired man seen on the communicator earlier was sitting on the throne. Your Majesty, the great god of war, Namikaze Naruto Uchiha Sasuke, Namikaze Minato pays you the highest respects. A group of imperial personnel bowed, placed their right hands lightly on their hearts, and saluted. In response, the man on the throne simply nodded and then turned his gaze to the Gale Quartet and the Centipede. Welcome to our world. Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura, Yamato, and Sai from another world. The voice was full of majesty. The sharp eyes, like stars and sharp swords, just a look. Naruto Height felt a sense of palpitations. This made him lower his head and glance at Sakura, Yamato, and Sai beside him out of the corner of his eye. The three of them also lowered their heads subconsciously. But soon, they felt that this was inappropriate, so they raised their heads again. Your Majesty, we are from another world, the Konoha ninjas from the ninja village era. It is an honor to meet you and everyone around you. Yamato immediately said respectfully, imitating the way everyone in the empire saluted. The same goes for Sakura and Sai. Naruto realized what was said belatedly, but before he could do anything, Yamato quickly reached out and held his head, bending down. No need to be polite. You are not from this world. You don't need to imitate them. Relax a little. As the saying goes, guests from afar are welcome, especially since you are from another world. That person is naturally a distinguished guest among distinguished guests. The mighty thousand-handed celestial being on the throne raised his arm very peacefully, and an invisible force lifted up the Gale 4 and the bent body of the centipede. However, he caught a glimpse of the classic quotations of the Emperor Shenwu in Naruto Height's hand, and his eyes couldn't help but twitch. What the hell? When I was young, I was very strong and loved to show off. Now that I am older, I can't stand it anymore. I knew that His Majesty Shenwu must be a good person. Naruto Heiate said with a grin as he just stood up, completely forgetting the terror he had felt before. He then looked at the people standing on both sides of the throne. At first glance, he saw a figure with thick purple eyeshadow, which looked a bit weird. This made his expression change and he exclaimed, Orochimaru. Fist. Hard. Orochimaru. Sakura whispered, her eyes complicated, but her fists were clenched just as tightly. Naruto-kun, in the other world, Sakura seems to hate me. This is really a headache. Imperial Orochimaru gave a somewhat distressed smile. Naruto, Sakura, please don't bring the emotions you have for the people of our own world into this world. That is very rude. Yamato reminded quickly. Orochimaru-kun, I'm so sorry. This child and Sakura are in another world, and it seems that they suffered a lot because of the other you. So Imperial Minato also patted Naruto Heiate's shoulder and looked at Imperial Orochimaru with an apologetic look. Of course I can understand. Don't worry, Minato-kun. I won't be angry with a distinguished guest from another world. As Imperial Orochimaru spoke, he inadvertently stuck out his long tongue and licked his lips. Naruto and Sakura shuddered at the same time and thought of some bad memories. I'm sorry because you in another world killed the third grandfather and kidnapped Sasuke. Naruto Heiate said with a somewhat depressed mood. I was the one who killed the third Hokage in the other world and kidnapped Sasuke-kun. That's really beyond my expectation. If I have the chance, I really want to meet that me. Page 14. When Orochimaru of the Empire heard this, his eyes lit up and he showed an interested look. Killing the third generation, a die-hard ninja in the ninja village, doesn't seem like a big deal. But kidnapping Sasuke, who was the twins of the imperial capital, is truly extraordinary. If only I could kidnap the Sasuke of this world. Imperial Orochimaru glanced secretly at Imperial Sasuke. The self in the other world is really great. I hope we can have the opportunity to communicate in the future. HMPH. Don't look at me with such disgusting eyes, Orochimaru. Otherwise, if you leave His Majesty Shenwu's sight, I will make sure you are in trouble. Imperial Sasuke felt the gaze of Imperial Orochimaru and couldn't help but glare at him fiercely. I'm sorry Sasuke-kun, I didn't mean it. It's all because the twin stars of the imperial capital are too dazzling, and my eyes always like to look towards bright places. Imperial Orochimaru raised his hands in surrender and averted his gaze. Granny Tsunade, you are the Granny Tsunade of this world. Naruto Heiate shifted his gaze from Orochimaru and saw a hot, blonde big sister next to him, and couldn't help but shout. Damn you little brat! Who are you calling grandma? After all, I'm a high-level warrior and can live for at least 200 years. Being several dozen years old is only equivalent to a normal 18-year-old. I am still a girl now. Do you know what a girl is? Imperial Tsunade raised her right fist and glared at Heiate Naruto with murderous eyes. While Naruto Heiate was frightened, he also felt warm in his heart. It seems this Granny Tsunade is very similar to the one in my own world. Sakura and Yamato couldn't help but smile. Chapter 16. Conquer the World. Conquer Konoha. Lecherous sage. Sorry, Uncle Jiraiya, are you still so lecherous here too? Naruto said happily when he saw Jiraiya, who looked almost the same as in his own world. What are you talking about, little brat? What's wrong with a man being lustful? Pornography is the driving force of human progress. Without pornography, the whole world will stagnate. Do you understand what is meant by human beings and society? Imperial Jiraiya twisted his mouth and said with an unhappy look. This attracted the contemptuous looks from the women around him. Teacher Jiraiya, please stop talking about your theories. Imperial Minato looked helpless. What's wrong with my theory? It's proven based on the imperial social theory. Even His Majesty Shenwu agrees with it. Right. Your Majesty Shenwu. Please help me. Imperial Jiraiya winked at the Senju Tianren who was sitting on the throne. It made Senju Tianren feel funny. The trio of pornography, gambling, and drugs in this world have already had their personalities formed due to their age. Even if it is due to their own reasons, at most their experiences in the middle and late stages are different. The personality is not much different from the other world. Jiraiya is right. Pornography, power, money, and all desires are the ladders and driving forces that push people forward. So there is no need to be so repulsive or embarrassed to talk about them. The thousand-handed heavenly being nodded. For him, who now owns the entire world and is the supreme emperor, there are no desires or thoughts that need to be concealed. These words. The Empire Jiraiya was very proud. See. His Majesty has said so too. If you continue to refute me, you are actually refuting His Majesty. Cut. A group of women turned their heads away with disdain. That's the thick-browed teacher. Tiranai Yuhai. Hinata's father. Ino's father. Shikamaru's father. Wow, who is this white-haired uncle? Why does he look so much like Kakashi? Naruto Hate looked at the group of people and couldn't help but exclaimed repeatedly. Those who were called nodded and smiled at him. Until I saw Uchiha Itachi. Naruto Hate's expression was startled. You are not that Sasuke Naruto. Yamato suddenly let out a high-pitched sound and slapped Hate Naruto hard on the back. It made him suddenly wake up. Then he pursed his lips and smiled awkwardly and didn't say anything else. What? Is there something wrong with me in the other world? The Imperial Uchiha Itachi, dressed in black, looked at Hate Naruto strangely. Sorry, that's the village's secret, Yamato responded on behalf of Naruto. Is that so? I understand. Imperial Uchiha Itachi nodded and had no intention of asking further questions. Maybe my brother in that world is very strong. After all, if I don't have the power of Indra, it would be difficult for me to be better than my brother. Imperial Sasuke said unconcernedly. To be honest, he was not very interested in the weak world where Naruto Hate was. The rest of the empire didn't think much about Yamato's words. However, the Senju avatar, who was sitting on the throne, had a strange expression on his face as he recalled the Naruto he had watched in his previous life. These guys are quite smart. They covered up the fact that the Uchiha clan was exterminated from the beginning. But the truth cannot be hidden forever if these Uchiha get to know about it. I'm afraid that Konoha in that world has suffered a lot. However, this must be based on the fact that the Shenwu Empire can travel to the world where Shippuden is located. After thinking about it, Senju Tianren calmed down his mind. Okay, now everyone knows each other. Then I'll get straight to the point. Naruto, Sakura, Yamato, Sai, and Centipede from another world. I hope you can cooperate with us and let our people enter your world. Everyone in the Empire remained expressionless. Among the Gale Quartet, Yamato and Sai's expressions changed drastically. The thing I feared most finally happened. The ruler of this world, who is able to rule the Shenwu Empire, which is far more powerful than Konoha and even the entire ninja world, does have ideas about the world we live in. If he were to enter our world, I'm afraid the whole world would be doomed. So we must not let him succeed. But can we stop it? The two were confused again. The gap in strength was too big. The swift-winged centipede beside him said happily, haha, as expected. As expected, it is like this. I know that a great being like His Majesty Shenwu must be someone who also possesses an endless desire to conquer. Those corrupt guys in the ninja world. And those incompetent daimyos, they don't deserve to own the world. Only a great man like you, Your Majesty, is worthy of this. Please allow me to help Your Majesty. What? Conquer the world. Conquer Konoha. At this time, even the political idiot Naruto was shocked and looked at the figure on the throne with disbelief. Hey, are you kidding me? Uncle Emperor of the Shenwu Empire. You wouldn't do that, right? And Uncle Minato, Brother Onaru, Sister Kushina said. Hey, Naruto, turning his attention to the newly friendly Imperial Minato and the others around him. Sorry, Naruto-chan, but trust me, this is for everyone too. Teikoku Minato smiled somewhat awkwardly. Little Naruto, you have to believe in us. Believe in His Majesty. Only by joining the embrace of the Empire can the people of the entire ninja world be happier. Imperial Kushina also said, and wanted to touch Naruto Hei's head. But he dodged it angrily. You damned fellows. You are all bad guys. You want to conquer the world. Conquer Konoha. I will never allow it. Hey, Naruto yelled. Humph. You should feel honored. Because only in this way can you join the Empire. Become a member of the Empire and enjoy an advanced, prosperous, and affluent life. Imperial Sasuke said disdainfully. What are you talking about? Damn you stinking Sasuke. Where the leaves fly, fire burns. The shadow of the fire will illuminate the village and make new leaves sprout. We in Konoha won't. Naruto Height was halfway through his words. Imperial Sasuke couldn't help but curl his lips and said, It's just a brainwashing catchphrase, but you actually take it as the truth. Is a backward system and village that only emphasizes sacrifice really worth reminiscing about? As expected, just as your majesty said, the people of the ninja village era were just so stubborn. Only the iron fist of justice is the most suitable for them. Damn you arrogant Sasuke, Konoha belongs to everyone and we won't yield to anyone. Just give up on this idea. Hey, Naruto yelled. Naruto, why do you think that by joining the Empire, you are surrendering to it? Namikaze Minato said gently. Chapter 17. Chapter 17. But because everyone in Konoha is living a happy life now. Naruto Height said without thinking. Are you happy? Happy living as a commoner in the Empire? Ask your heart and think back to what you just saw and heard. Imperial Minato gave a gentle reminder. This Naruto Height was stunned. I recalled the fashionable and beautiful men and women I saw on the street just now, their smiling faces and their full energy. There are also beautiful tall houses, items and food in some shops. Naruto Height had to admit it in his heart. The living standards of ordinary people in the Empire far exceed those in Konoha. Even if ordinary people in the Empire have a good life, this is not our home after all. Konoha is. Forced conquest leads only to war and destruction. Yamato then stood up and spoke again. This idea is so similar to what we had before. Imperial Tsunade sighed softly at this time. This is the limitation of people's thinking in the shinobi village era. People always like to stay in the areas they know and find it difficult to accept new things. Teikoku Jiraiya couldn't help but smile bitterly. Haha, isn't this just the stupidity that is unique to humans? Thanks to His Majesty Shenwu, we were saved from that ignorant and stupid era. Imperial Orochimaru licked his lips, looking at the figure on the throne, a hint of fanaticism in his eyes. Those who have not lived in the Empire for a period of time will never be able to understand the greatness of His Majesty Shenwu and the entire Empire. So Naruto-chan, how about living here for a while and then making a decision? Imperial Kushina also said. No, I don't want to stay here. You damned fellows. Naruto Height looked at everyone in the Empire with some annoyance, labeling them all as bad people with bad intentions. How selfish. Uzumaki Naruto, is this what the ninja village teaches you? At this time, the thousand-armed heavenly being on the throne finally spoke again. Hearing this, Naruto Height became furious. Damn it, selfish. You want to invade Konoha, and you don't allow us to resist. Uzumaki Naruto, you are just an individual and cannot represent anyone. Knowing that joining the Empire would make everyone's life better, but refusing, what else could that be but selfish? In your narrow-minded mind, there is only Konoha and the education of the ninja village era. There is no future of happiness for the people after the Great Unification, and you cannot see such a future. Your Majesty, I believe that everyone in Konoha loves that piece of land. Our ancestors have lived there for generations. There is no way he will leave there, and he will not yield to anyone. All the people of Konoha are like fluttering leaves in the village, reproducing and growing actively generation after generation. If you are kind, you should not try to conquer the world, conquer Konoha. Starting a war and dragging everyone into it is not what a kind person should do. Yamato said with a serious look. Captain Yamato is right. Your Majesty, the great god, you already own this world. Isn't this enough to satisfy you? Sakura also said, looking extremely worried. The Shenwu Empire is too powerful. If they confront the enemy head-on, the ninja world has no chance of winning. After hearing what the two said, everyone in the empire smiled playfully. Are these guys pretending to be stupid, or are they just so naive? Satisfied? Human desires are infinite, so who would complain about having more? What's more, His Majesty Jinwu did this more to save the pitiful people of the ninja village era. You are a bunch of rebels who don't understand His Majesty's greatness. You should all be executed. Without the need for everyone in the empire to speak, Centipede and Leshen volunteered and shouted. You damn guy. You are obviously from our world. Why do you say such things? Naruto Hayate glared at him. The veins on his fists were bulging. I just want to live in a more civilized and advanced world. Hisha smell it. The air in this world is so sweet and charming. Ah, this is civilization and freedom. Beizu said this, taking a deep breath with an intoxicated look on his face. This scene made the Gale Quartet feel extremely disgusted. In comparison, the world ruled by the useless daimyo is simply stupid and backward. Even the air was filled with a disgusting stench. That world needs to change. Beizu finally said excitedly. Damn it! Naruto Hayate wanted to say something. The peaceful and majestic voice of the thousand-handed heavenly man sounded. Uzumaki Naruto, Yamato, Haruno Sakura, sigh. Let's make a bet. If you win, I can give up the conquest of Konoha, and even the entire world you live in. But if you lose, you must surrender unconditionally. How about that? Bet? What bet? Naruto Hayate said alertly. Do we have the right to refuse? Yamato smiled bitterly. It's simple, just wait until our people enter your world. How about we invite 100 ordinary people to come and experience the lives of ordinary people here, and let them decide whether to join or refuse. That's a good idea. As expected of His Majesty, you came up with a good idea right away. Let 100 ordinary people experience life here and let them decide whether to go or stay. In this way, we can respect everyone's will and avoid the outbreak of war. Imperial Minato's eyes lit up and he said happily, Oh, Your Majesty, the mighty God, you have the power to conquer everything, yet you are so kind. Stupid guys, why don't you give thanks quickly? Beizu stared at the Gale 4. Naruto Hayate was a little hesitant. What? You can't even agree to this condition? As expected, the people in the shinobi village era are all selfish, hypocritical people with high-sounding words. You only have yourselves in your hearts. Imperial Sasuke challenged. Damn it. Let's bet. I trust everyone in Konoha. Hayate Naruto yelled in annoyance. Yamato smiled bitterly. They had no right to refuse. Then it is settled, Minato, Kushina, you will take good care of these distinguished guests from another world. By the way, send them to Imperial Capital Middle School to learn martial arts. Thousand-handed celestial being. What? Let us learn martial arts? The 4 members of the Gale group were all shocked. Then great joy. That is a powerful energy different from chakra, and the Gale Quartet is well aware of its power. If only I could learn this. Their strength will surely take a leap forward. But these guys are about to invade the ninja world. Can they really be so kind? Your Majesty, these 4 people are not sincere in joining the Empire. Asking them to learn martial arts is a bit. Tanada Hayashi, who had been quiet until now, finally spoke. Many other people also looked worried. However, Imperial Sasuke's eyes lit up and he said, Why? Is the Hyuga family head worried that teaching the martial arts to people from another world will pose a threat to us? Don't forget what His Majesty once said. Chapter 18. The more I understand, the more I discover the gap between the ninja world and the Empire. What did your Majesty say? Hinata and Hinata were a little confused. I'll give you time to catch up until you're out of reach. Your Majesty is so strong that he is not afraid of anyone chasing him. Compared with your Majesty, all people are nothing but ants. He is invincible. Have you all forgotten that? Imperial Sasuke looked serious. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. That's right. Your Majesty is a martial arts master who is invincible in the world. Why should you be afraid of the ninja world in another world? The entire martial arts was created by your Majesty. To your Majesty, the ninja world is nothing more than an ant nest made up of a group of ants. There is no need to pay too much attention to it. Your Majesty is the god who sits on the throne of heaven. A group of people started to flatter him. This made the thousand-handed heavenly man's eyelids jump. Good man, this flattery is really unbearable, especially when he quoted the classic quotes he used to show off. It feels like dark history. These guys. Page 16. This is being underestimated. Yamato looked at the looks of the people in the Empire and whispered with a wry smile. Damn it. These guys. Naruto Height was a little annoyed. He wanted to retort, but had no idea what to say. After all, the four of them were indeed defeated easily. The gap between the two sides is visibly huge. No matter what, if you are willing to teach, we will learn well. Sai's expression was much calmer. Sakura just sighed. The quartet soon left, following Teikoku Minato and Kushina. Looking at their backs as they left, the thousand-handed celestial being finally turned his gaze to the hundred-footed one. Centipede and Lushan, you and Orochimaru will go to Lulan to study whether the dragon veins can be reversed. Your will, your Majesty. They both bowed. An ordinary apartment. Living room next to the dining table. Naruto Height stroked his belly with a satisfied look on his face and sighed comfortably. The dishes cooked by butler Zaya Along are so delicious. The mapo tofu was so soft, glutinous, delicious, and fragrant. I have never eaten such a great dish before. While speaking, Naruto Height kept glancing at a black-haired girl standing next to him who was wearing a maid outfit and had a better-looking face. Just now, he enjoyed a lunch provided by the other party. There are 10 dishes in total, and each one looks delicious, fragrant, and tasty, and is several times more delicious than Nikaraku ramen. It made him feel like he was in a food paradise. Sakura, who was standing next to her, covered her face with her hands and sighed with satisfaction. The mapo tofu is indeed delicious, but the best, I think, is the pickled fish. The fish is fresh and tender and melts in your mouth. Oh my god, how can there be such delicious fish in this world? Thank you for the compliments. This is what Saya Along should do. The black-haired girl next to her kept smiling as she responded. These delicacies were actually invented by your Majesty. He said that the strong should learn to enjoy life while strengthening themselves. And delicious food is the greatest enjoyment. It is the one that can bring the most happiness to people. Therefore, the Empire has always attached great importance to food, and many people have delved into it. Today, several cuisines have been developed, with hundreds or even thousands of dishes. Today's dishes are just appetizers. Imperial Minato said proudly. This caused Naruto Height and Sakura to exclaim in amazement. The Empire is truly amazing. But Uncle Minato, you should let Butler Zaya Along go back later. As a ninja, I am more accustomed to living independently. I also want to experience the life of ordinary people in the Empire. I always feel that servant service is a service that only important people can enjoy. Naruto Height looked serious. Yes, if there is a mediocre person in my room, Minato-senpai, please let her go. We are just ordinary ninjas, not suitable to enjoy the service of servants. Yamato also said. Ah, what are you talking about? A service that only big shots can enjoy. No, 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 I think you may have misunderstood. Butler Xiaolong. It is an artificial intelligence mechanical puppet, a household mechanical puppet that most citizens of the Empire would buy. Imperial Minato shook his head and laughed. Artificial intelligence mechanical puppet? What is that? I know puppets, they are used by the Sand Village to fight. Mechanical puppets should be puppets made by machines, right? Artificial puppets? I heard Kinkuro say before that it seemed like some invisible summoning beast. But what does it mean to have connected artificial intelligence mechanical puppets? Naruto scratched his head in confusion. An invisible spirit beast. This explanation is quite simple and easy to understand. To be precise, an artificial intelligence mechanical puppet is a man-made puppet. However, this kind of puppet is different from ordinary puppets. It has anthropomorphic intelligence, can communicate with people, and complete some of the master's orders. Little Dragon Butler is a household mechanical puppet. So it is possible to cook, wash clothes, clean, and so on. This is something that most ordinary people in the Empire can have, not just some powerful people. Imperial Minato smiled. What? The Gale Four were shocked. Not a human? A puppet? With human thinking? Ordinary people in the Empire can have that. Can cook, wash clothes, and clean? How is this possible? Uncle Minato, are you kidding us? Sakura said with disbelief on her face. No matter how she looked at it, she believed that Butler Xiaolong was undoubtedly a real person. Haha, this is normal. If I were still the same person I used to be, I would also find it unbelievable to see these things. Butler Xiaolong, please prove it to everyone. Teikoku Minato smiled at the black-haired girl. Yes. The black-haired girl known as Xiaolong's housekeeper nodded respectfully, and then, under the surprised gaze of Team Gale, she slowly lifted up her shirt, revealing her white belly. Naruto Heiat's face turned red, his eyes widened, and his breathing became heavier. Sakura next to her widened her eyes and clenched her fists. But the next moment, Butler Xiaolong's actions were shocking. She held her belly with one hand, then slowly opened it, revealing strange circuit boards and wires inside. This is... Naruto Heiat's eyes widened in surprise. The same was true for the other three. This is one of the evidences. Butler Xiaolong's body is made up of circuit boards, wires, steel, silicone, etc. Imperial Minato said with a smile. That's not all. Butler Xiaolong, please continue to show them other evidence. Imperial Kushina also said. Okay. Butler Xiaolong said, and then held his head with his hands, twisted it slowly, and finally took it off and held it in his arms. The original neck was smooth and clean. Head. It's coming down. This person is definitely not a human being. Naruto shouted. Incredible, it looks like a human, but it's actually a puppet. It's similar to Scorpion. Sakura whispered, her eyes full of amazement. At the same time, he inevitably recalled the battle with Scorpion of the Red Sand. Haha, Scorpion really put in a lot of effort to research these puppets. He is a mechanical genius that even His Majesty has praised, and he is also the youngest person in our Shenwu Empire to hold a doctorate in both mechanics and intelligence. Imperial Minato said. Chapter 19. Basic Martial Arts of the Shenwu Empire Doctor. What is that? Everyone asked. A profession distinct from that of a ninja, and very popular and respected throughout the Empire. Generally, only one person will appear among tens of thousands of people. Minato raised an index finger. Only one out of hundreds of thousands of people. Great. So amazing. Sakura exclaimed. Isn't that a Konoha can't produce a single one? Naruto shouted. The total population of Konoha is only about 100,000. Is it possible that the doctor is even more powerful than Shadow? May I ask what is the current population of the Shenwu Empire? Yamato swallowed. The current population is about 100 million. Imperial Minato laughed. 100 million. The four members of the Gale group took a breath. This population is much larger than that of the ninja world they are in. Because of years of war, Yamato estimated that the population of the entire ninja world was only a few million at most. Millions versus 100 million, the gap is so big that it is unimaginable. What's more, the Empire's elite troops far outnumber those in the ninja world. They couldn't think about it any further. The more they thought about it, the more despair and helplessness they would feel. Shaking his head, Yamato breathed in. It's really amazing, but it's the most amazing thing. Or is it because puppets of this level are available to ordinary people in the entire Shenwu Empire? So, just enjoy Butler Xiaolong's service with peace of mind. This is something that all citizens of the Empire can enjoy. Imperial Minato smiled. Shortly after, Imperial Minato and Kushina settled all the members of Hayate. Each member of the Gale team has a dragon butler serving them. Finally, the four of them enjoyed what it meant to be like an emperor. Dinner is prepared by Butler Xiaolong, and the bath water is prepared by Butler Xiaolong. If you are tired, you can enjoy a massage. If you want to chat, he can accompany you for a while. Page 17. Early the next morning, when Naruto opened his eyes, he saw Butler Xiaolong waiting by the bed with his clothes. This service, it's so thoughtful. After getting dressed and washing and having breakfast, Naruto felt extremely happy and couldn't help but sigh again. Life in this world is so comfortable. It would be nice if I could live here. How could I think like that? I'm Uzumaki Naruto from Konoha. Everyone in Konoha is waiting for me. He slapped his face hard to keep himself awake. Jingle bell, the doorbell rings. When Uzumaki Naruto opened the door, he saw Imperial Minato and Kushina standing at the door with smiles on their faces. Are you used to living here, Naruto-chan? Kushina came to Naruto Hayate affectionately and touched his head. Very good, the artificial intelligence puppet is really amazing. Naruto Hayate did not resist at all and smiled. Ha ha ha, as long as you like it. Now let's go and call the others and prepare to report to Didu Middle School. You can't fall behind in learning martial arts. The sky is big, the earth is big, your own strength is the greatest, Kushina said as she gathered everyone together. Sakura saw her friends, Kushina and Minato, chattering excitedly. That AI robot puppet is amazing. She can really do anything. He can even choose suitable clothes for me online. I feel like as long as I have her, you don't have to worry about everything yourself. It would be nice if we in Konoha also had this. He does not mean that. Yamato and Sai looked heavy-hearted. The artificial intelligence robot puppet is so powerful and advanced. After the experience, they couldn't help but feel that even the most famous people were just like this. If other Konoha villagers enjoyed this kind of life, could they really refuse? I'm afraid it's impossible. To be honest, just yesterday's life made them feel at ease and look forward to the future. The Shenwu Empire is so terrifying and so advanced. I only saw it before, but now after experiencing it, the feeling is completely different. Even if it's only the first day. On the way to Imperial Capital Middle School, Imperial Minato smiled and said to the Gale Quartet, His Majesty asked me to send you to learn martial arts. But there are many martial arts, and apart from your Majesty, no one can be omnipotent. So, I suggest you learn one of them. How about that? I can finally learn martial arts. After I finish learning, I will definitely defeat the arrogant Sasuke, and then fight back against him with your Majesty's classic quotes. Let's see if he dares to laugh at me again. Naruto excitedly hit his left palm with his right fist and yelled. Can we learn moves like Kai Finger Gun and Kai Storm Kick? Yamato's first thought was about the Lulen guards who had abused him. Of course, these are relatively basic skills known as the 6 styles of martial arts. Imperial Minato said with a smile. Basic skills? Such a powerful move is just a basic skill. Yamato was surprised. Wow, so awesome. Naruto was surprised and happy. It is indeed just a basic skill. In Imperial Capital Middle School, most students know one or two of the 6 styles. Graduates need to completely master the 6 styles, and the top students must master some of the 6 styles' advanced skills. Kushina also said, "It sounds like it's awesome. But are there any other powerful ones I can learn from?" Naruto said expectantly. Certainly. There is also elemental breathing. Well, to put it simply, it's a move similar to the attribute chakra mode, but it's simpler and more convenient. It can be used on any of your own moves, and can also strengthen ninjutsu of corresponding attributes. After reaching a certain level, it becomes stronger than the attribute chakra mode. Imperial Minato thought for a moment and said, "Attribute chakra mode, what's that?" Naruto Height didn't understand. That is a very advanced use of chakra. The Raikage of the Hidden Thunder Village has mastered the lightning release chakra mode for generations. This is also the key to their ability to become Raikage. Yamato explained with a serious look. Captain Yamato means that as long as we master the lightning release chakra mode, we will have the strength of the Raikage. Sakura said in disbelief. This is not absolute, but being able to master the lightning chakra mode is definitely the elite among the elites. Good. Very powerful. Naruto Hei's eyes lit up when he heard it. The Kigong of the Shenwu Empire is so powerful. I really want to learn it all. What else? Is there anything else I can learn? There are also muscle martial arts and spiritual martial arts. These 2 types are muscle and spirit strengthening martial arts types. Brother Da Ming is practicing muscle martial arts, right? The first thing that came to Naruto Hei's mind was the Imperial Naruto with his extremely well-developed muscles. Yes, Naruto has a talent in muscle martial arts second only to your majesty, far superior to the others. Imperial Minato's face revealed a hint of pride when he said he was second only to his majesty. I see. So if we're talking about cultivating the spirit, that should be the job of an illusion ninja, right? Sakura said. Chapter 20, Martial Arts Demonstration from Rock Lee of the Empire. That's not the case. Most Uchiha practice spiritual martial arts. Their spirits are connected to Yinsuku, which can strengthen the power of the Sharingan. If they practice to a high level, they can also obtain all kinds of incredible force fields. Imperial Watergate smiled, paused, and then said, "How is it? Which of these 4 basic systems do you plan to practice? After the selection, I will take you to the corresponding instructor to study." It's really hard to make a decision. They all sound very strong. Yamato sighed, undecided. This was an opportunity, and he naturally wanted to learn the best and what was most suitable for them. But they knew too little about this brand new thing called martial arts. Seems to see Yamato's hesitation. The considerate little son Watergate said again, "How about this, Kushina, and I will demonstrate all the martial arts for you to choose from?" "Thank you so much, Minato-senpai." Yamato looked happy. "Thank you, Uncle Minato. You are indeed the best person in the world," shouted Naruto Height. Sakura and Sai also looked happy. Being with someone like Minato really makes people feel comfortable from the bottom of their hearts. The other person is so thoughtful in what he does. Don't be so polite, we are all family. Imperial Minato smiled and asked everyone to gather around him, and they appeared again on the field where Height Naruto had fought Imperial Sasuke before. Drink. 1231, 1232, 1233. On the original open space, there was a watermelon-skinned young man wearing a green tights. The young man was yelling and supporting the ground with one finger, doing push-ups continuously. And sitting on this watermelon rind is a man who is a bigger size than the other one. Saw 2 people. Naruto Height suddenly shouted. Teacher thick eyebrows. Sayo Lai. Hey? Who are you? The watermelon rind young man who was doing push-ups stopped and turned to look at Naruto Height curiously. Lee, this is Naruto from another world and his companions. Teikokukai's legs shook, and he immediately jumped off little Lee. Ah, he is actually Naruto-kun from another world. He looks so skinny and short. Empire's Iolai was shocked. Damn thick eyebrows. Who did you call short and skinny? Asshole. Naruto Hate clenched his fists in anger and glared at Iolai. Ah, sorry. I didn't mean it. Iolai quickly stood up and bowed repeatedly to Naruto Hate to apologize. But with a height of at least 1.9 meters and strong muscles. Considering Naruto's small stature, this apology seemed weird no matter how one looked at it. Damn it! Seeing that Iolai was so sincere, Naruto didn't know what to say, but he still felt depressed. My height is obviously not short, but in this world not only is his strength always looked down upon, but even his size is like that. It's really too discouraging. Naruto boy from another world. Are you here to train as well? Do you want to join us? Teikokukai smiled brightly. He is taller than Iolai, about 2 meters tall. The tights are tight, highlighting the muscle contours. Kai, I brought Naruto here mainly to demonstrate the 6 styles of martial arts, attribute breathing, muscle martial arts, and spiritual martial arts. This will also help them make a better choice as to which one to learn. Imperial Minato explained with a smile. Page 18. Oh, I see. Are you showing off your martial arts power? Can you take us with you? Let us demonstrate the 6 styles and muscle martial arts, shall we? Digyo Kai's eyes lit up and he was eager to try. Of course, Kai, you and Iolai have practiced the 6 styles and muscle martial arts much better than I have, so it's most appropriate for you to demonstrate it. Imperial Minato nodded. Oh, did you hear that? Lee, get ready. Let the people from the other world see the power of the 6 styles of martial arts and the muscle martial arts created by your majesty. Empire Kai raised his fist and yelled at Iolai. Ah, don't worry, Teacher Kai. I will do my best. I will never lose face for his majesty. Iolai also raised his fist and shouted. Naruto and Sakura couldn't help but smile when they saw this. The thick eyebrows and Iolai in this world are similar to those in my world. Akai, Iolai just let the guys from the repair team go. If you guys go all out, I think they'll have to work overtime to repair the venue. Minato smiled bitterly. Ah, that's true. Then I won't do anything. Iolai, you do it. Digyo Kai's eyes widened and he suddenly realized. Leave it to me, Teacher Kai. After Iolai from the Empire finished yelling, he looked at the Gale Force seriously and said, Dear guests from another world. Now please enjoy the power of the 6 styles and their derivative advanced moves. Iolai just show the basics, Minato warned quietly. No, Lord Minato. We must go all out, otherwise we will lose face for His Majesty. Lee retorted to Minato, looking serious. Then thank you for your help. Minato covered his face. Thank you, Iolai, Naruto said with a toothy smile. It's no trouble at all. Just watch. One of the 6 martial arts styles. Finger gun. Iolai looked serious and bent his fingers and flicked them. Chinese letter 100 meters away, several trees were pierced through one by one. This power is much stronger than the penetrating power used by the Lulen guards that the Gale team had seen before. This made Team Gale's expressions become serious. As for martial arts, it seems that the stronger a person is, the stronger he will be when he uses it. As for ninjutsu, generally the power does not change much after it is used, unless one has done special research on the ninjutsu and added one's own things to make the ninjutsu even more powerful. In this regard, ninjutsu is not as convenient as martial arts. 6 martial arts styles. Finger gun advanced. Fist cannon. After demonstrating the finger gun, Iolai roared, retracted one hand behind his waist, and then suddenly punched out. Boom! Exclamation accompanied by a roar. On Iolai's fist, The air was beaten into a visible air mass, which then flew out. When this air mass touches the first tree boom, a huge explosion sounded. The middle part of the tree, which was originally 30 to 40 meters tall, was completely shattered. Along with it, a hole 1 or 2 meters deep and 10 meters in diameter was formed on the ground. Wow! Is this the advanced version of the finger spear? It's even more powerful than my Rasengan Naruto. Was a little shocked. The scariest thing is that it can be released instantly, Yamato added. It's not over yet. Watch me advance my spear fingering skills. True Kai 6 King's Rapid Cannon. Ha! Xiao Lai screamed loudly. He folded his hands behind his back and then madly punched the air in front of him. Boom! 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 A series of air cannons continuously bombarded the woods 100 meters ahead. Boom! Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. The horrific explosion continued until 20 seconds later, when Xiao Lai slowly exhaled. At this time, the edge of the originally dense forest had been completely shrouded in smoke. Until the smoke was blown away, a pit with a depth of 10 meters and a diameter of 70 to 80 meters was revealed. It's really frightening to watch. Chapter 21 Powerful Martial Arts. The terrifying 6-step advancement. Is this the advanced technique of the 6 styles of martial arts? So powerful. Really so powerful. Naruto whispered. This power is even stronger than his wind-style Rasen Shuriken. The Xiao Lai in this world is indeed incredibly strong. This power is already an S-level ninjutsu, Yamato exclaimed. That's amazing. Why is everyone here so amazing? Sakura also sighed. Ha ha ha. It's not that amazing. If it's Teacher Kai, he has more advanced techniques. Xiao Lai touched the back of his head and smiled happily. What a pity. I can't show you more advanced martial arts techniques. Tai also looked regretful. Just let the guys from the repair class go, Minato said quickly. That's a pity, but this move is powerful enough. Naruto's eyes lit up. Then next up is Storm Kicks. Watch out, everyone. One of the 6 martial arts styles. Storm Kick. A 10-meter-high air blade flew out and cut down several large trees. Then, one of the 6 martial arts styles. The Great Storm Kick. With a little accumulation of strength, a 20-meter-long air blade cut across, chopping down hundreds of large trees at the waist. Frenzy. Storm of Storm Kicks. Dozens of air blades flew out in just a few seconds, chopping up everything within the target range. Broken soil, trees, and flying dust. Even with Zhu Yu, who had True Kai, 6 Kings, and rapid-fire cannon in front, the Storm of Mist Foot was still amazing. Another powerful move that is not inferior to S-rank ninjutsu. Unlike the finger gun, this move is completely based on cutting. Although its range of damage is not as good as the finger gun, it is more difficult to defend against. Amazing. Yamato commented in a sophisticated manner. Ha ha ha. Mr. Yamato is right. This is exactly the purpose of developing this move. Then watch out for the next move. Moon Step. Xiao Lai finished speaking. He pushed off the ground and flew towards the sky. Just when everyone thought he was going to make a move, Xiao Lai kicked his legs in the air continuously, and he actually stabilized in the air. There was no sign of falling at all. Xiao Lai is flying in the sky. When Naruto Height saw this scene, he couldn't help but point and shout. His face was full of disbelief. How did you do that? Sakura was a little confused. Without wings you can still fly? Sai also didn't understand. The moon step is a technique that involves stepping on the air at high speed, which creates a recoil force that allows you to briefly fly into the air. However, this technique consumes a lot of physical strength and energy, and is the most difficult of all the 6 techniques. Imperial Watergate explained. Incredible, martial arts are so powerful and magical. Yamato exclaimed. I also yearn for this kind of power even more in my heart. Boom. Exclamation landed on the ground again. Xiao Lai said, the advanced techniques of moon step are nothing more than saving physical energy and how to move more quickly and freely in the sky. It is difficult for people who have not learned it to understand, so I will not continue to demonstrate it. Next, you guys come and attack me. Xiao Lai patted his chest. Attack you? This is not good, it will hurt you. Naruto frowned. It's okay. Xiao Lai is demonstrating the 6 styles, iron block, so go ahead and attack. If your moves are strong enough to hurt Xiao Lai, he will dodge. Kai laughed. Then I won't be polite. Naruto Hate came to Rock Lee with his hands rubbed with anticipation, looking at the strong Rock Lee who was more than a head taller than him. I couldn't help feeling annoyed. Why is this guy so tall? It's really annoying. He gritted his teeth. Following Lee's eye signal, Naruto punched Lee in the stomach without any hesitation. Then, ah, it hurts. A scream rang out, but it wasn't from Xiao Lai, but from Naruto. He retracted his slightly swollen right hand, covered it with his left hand, and screamed, "Why does it hurt so much? It feels like I hit a piece of iron." Hiss. Ah. This is the martial art of iron. Tighten your muscles, use your true energy to strengthen them, and your body will become as hard as iron. Page 19. Imperial Kai grinned and gave a thumbs up. Naruto-kun, you can try harder and use ninjutsu. Xiao Lai said this with a serious look on his face. In Naruto Hei's eyes, this seemed to be saying, how come you only have so little strength? Can't you try harder? Damn it. Now that you say that, don't regret it later. Rasengan. Naruto created 2 shadow clones and immediately started making balls. Rasengan. Just in time. Buto steel block. Xiao Lai growled, his skin all over his body covered with a layer of fluorescent light. Naruto raised the Rasengan and hit Rock Lee hard. Boom boom boom. The Rasengan spun, tearing Xiao Lai's shirt into pieces, and the ball then hit Xiao Lai's exposed strong abdominal muscles. Hyolonglong, the Rasengan is still spinning, but it never had any effect at all until the whole ball disappeared. It's actually useless, Naruto Heiate said in a daze. This is the advanced steel block of the iron block. It can resist almost all destructive ninjutsu below S rank. How about it, Naruto? Do you have any other means of attack? If not, others can come and attack. Xiao Lai smiled and patted his abdominal muscles. Damn it, don't underestimate me. Naruto was pissed. The 2 clones also gnashed their teeth and gathered around the other clone again, buzzing. The next moment, the Rasengan began to rotate again, but compared to before, this time it added the rapid rotation force of wind attribute. The whole ball began to make terrifying noises. Naruto, stop it. This is just a test and a demonstration. It's not even close to using S-level ninjutsu. Yamato was immediately shocked when he saw Naruto use this move. That's right. Naruto, stop it. This might hurt Lee. Sakura also said. This is a wind attribute Rasen Shuriken. Xiao Lai was a little surprised. Hee hee. Are you scared? Do you want me to stop? Just tell me and I'll stop right away. Naruto held up the wind-style Rasen Shuriken that was spinning continuously and creating gusts of wind and waves, feeling somewhat proud. No need. Come on. But the others should stay away. Rock Lee remained unmoved and instead reminded Heiate, Sakura, Yamato, and Sai. Is this really okay? This is an S-level ninjutsu. Yamato was worried and looked towards the Imperial Water Gate. I hope he can persuade me. The wind attribute Rasen Shuriken is indeed very powerful, but Xiao Lai is so confident, so we should just watch. Minato laughed and began to back away. Seeing this, Yamato had no choice but to retreat with Sakura and Sai, leaving the 2 of them with a wide space. You asked for this, Xiao Lai. Don't regret it later. Naruto Hate looked at Xiao Lai with complicated eyes, even though he was not afraid at all. Come on, Naruto-kun. The martial arts created by His Majesty are not as weak as you think. Xiao Lai patted his abdominal muscles again. This chapter has been posted first. I have something to do tomorrow, so I will update the next chapter in the afternoon or evening. In addition, thank you all for your monthly votes and follow-up reading. At present, the ranking on the new book list seems to have moved up a bit. This way, more people can see it, which will make the performance of this book slightly better. Omega Chapter 22 The perfect display of 6 styles and muscle martial arts. You've been underestimating ninjutsu. Naruto Height retorted, a hint of anger on his face. No, I have never underestimated ninjutsu. It's you who lack knowledge of martial arts. Just come at me, Naruto-kun. Xiao Lai said this and suddenly turned around. Only a strong back was left for Naruto Height. Naruto Height was completely enraged by the actions of Empire's Rock Lee. At this moment, he felt unprecedented contempt. This Xiao Lai is as annoying as the arrogant Sasuke. You bastard. I don't care. Wind-style Rasen Shuriken. With a roar, Naruto attacked Rock Lee with a wind-style Rasen Shuriken. But the next moment, when it was about to approach, Xiao Lai's body instinctively dodged. Okay. Naruto cried out in surprise, holding the meatball, and swung his arm again to attack Rock Lee, but he was easily dodged several times. Is this paper stew? Naruto thought of the first time he encountered the Dragon Vein Guardian, and how the other party kept dodging among the shadow clones. It seems that little Naruto has encountered this before, yes. This is the true Kai paper stew. It is a technique that can make the body as light as paper, so that one can feel the rhythm of the air around him and dodge. Attacks from people who don't know martial arts are unlikely to be effective. Taikukai explained with a smile. Damn it! You're trying to use this trick to dodge my attack. I will never let you underestimate me again. Naruto yelled in annoyance. With one hand, he pressed the wind-style Rasen Shuriken to the ground. As the meatball touched the ground, a terrifying roar and impact instantly erupted. The impact was so fast that Naruto's shadow clone exploded instantly. Xiao Lai, who was close at hand, was unable to dodge and was swept away by the shock wave. Little Lai, Rock Lee-kun, Yamato, and Sakura were both shocked when they saw the scene. Although, for now, everyone in the Empire is very friendly to them. But they are not naive enough to think that this friendship will remain after they hurt their people. No matter how similar the people in the two worlds are, they are still two different worlds. This will not change in a short time. Little Lai, even Naruto Height was worried. He shouted and rushed over. As a result, Xiao Lai flew backwards, twisted his body, and landed steadily on the ground. He looked at the rushing Naruto with a grin, gave him a thumbs up and said, The wind-style Rasen Shuriken is very powerful. How is this possible? You are actually fine? Naruto Height was stunned. Looking at Xiao Lai, who was still unharmed, he could not believe his eyes. Wind-style Rasen Shuriken is an S-level ninjutsu. It can't hurt this world's Lee. How strong is this guy? Even Granny Tsunade can't do this, right? Is it possible that the Rock Lee in this world is stronger than Granny Tsunade? No. Impossible. Granny Tsunade is the Hokage. Naruto Height thought to the end and quickly shook his head to drive away the terrible thoughts in his mind. Even S-rank ninjutsu can't hurt him? Is this the power of martial arts? It's beyond imagination and unbelievable. Yamato exclaimed. Xiao Lai is so strong. Sakura also sighed. Ha ha ha, you are wrong. I can't resist S-level ninjutsu without getting hurt at the moment. Teacher Kai can do this. But I'm still a little short of that. Xiao Lai smiled and raised a finger, shaking it gently. So you're hurt? But it doesn't look like it. Naruto Height looked skeptical. The same was true for the other three. I thought to myself, this world's Xiao Lai, is this just to save their face? To comfort Naruto? Although this may be your good intention. But I feel like the more I comfort Naruto, the more it will hurt him, right? I'm not hurt. Zio Lai shook his head. Then what do you mean? Naruto Heiei's face darkened. Is this watermelon rind playing a trick on him? Zio Lai used some cleverness this time. He used the paper cutter to prevent Naruto's wind-style Rasen Shuriken from hitting him directly. The subsequent damage from the explosion isn't enough to break Zio Lai's steel block. Teikoku Kai on the side laughed heartily again and explained. Everyone in Jiefeng suddenly realized. But even so, martial arts steel block is already incredibly powerful, especially when working with paper cutter. Alright legends, that's it for today. If you're ready for the next chapter, smash that like button and flood the comments right now. Remember, we've got 3 days to prove this story needs to continue. Subscribe so you don't miss the drop, and I'll meet you in the next audiobook.